Obviously, when I joined Montrose last time around, I was straight out of playing in the VFL, and still playing as well. So in a playing coach capacity, which I absolutely loved, and obviously was fortunate to have some success as well, and and really enjoyed my 5 years here. And I guess in that time since I was here at Montrose, I was fortunate. I was working at the Geelong Footy Club for 8 years in the football program. So I guess the most recent role I was in was assistant GM of footy. I was really fortunate to be part of that program. Obviously, to work with the likes of Chris Scott and Andrew Mackey and Nigel Lappin and Stephen Wells from a list management point of view. Yeah, you just learn so much, and so I feel like this time around I'm more prepared as a coach. Obviously, I'm a bit older as well, a bit more life experience, which helps. Just obviously the game continues to evolve, and you've got to stay up to speed with it all. And that time in Geelong, it certainly, solidified the way I think that the game needs to be played. And that's been a big part of coming back, is teaching this young group, a game style that I think is going to stack up, later in the season. And I think I guess if we can sum up the season so far for us, I think it took a little while for us to adjust to that. The first four games, and we're a bit inconsistent, a bit patchy. And since that Wantirna South game, I feel like we've really turned the corner, and we had a good win here against Norwood. We had a really good win here the week after against Baronia, and then last week, just lost by the point against North Ringwood, who are a good team, and at North Ringwood. So I felt like that game could have gone either way. I think we had 7 more inside 50s. We just had some opportunities late, ball in hand, that we didn't quite capitalise on, and that's all part of the learning for this young group, and to put them in those situations. I'm sure next time round they'll be better for it.
And I think I went and watched you in a couple of practice matches, actually, because I knew I wasn't going to get to see you much during the year, and I was really impressed with your defensive setup and your transition out of defence. And I know that it's been a little bit of a difficulty losing key forwards. That has not helped your situation. But looking through your game style, it looks like there's a lot of belief within that group, and it's just being able to open up that forward line to be able to get it so that it becomes as competitive as what you know it can be. Is that something that you've been looking at?
Yeah, for sure. I think probably the parts of their game where we were lacking, particularly in that first month, it was more in live play. We were kind of just overcomplicating a little bit with ball in hand, and then similarly, when we get the ball into controlled situations, we're kind of rushing a little bit, and and then defensively we were doing a little things. There's some basic fundamentals we weren't quite doing, and like I said, I think we've adjusted that, and I think the Baronia game's a good example where we kicked 26 goals 20. So I think our attack is very sound. I think probably defensively we've needed to tighten up a little bit, to be honest. And I think our midfield is starting to just get going. Obviously, we've got Collier Dawkins out again today, who's a bit of a loss, and we've had Laplanche not play with us since round 1. So we've had to adjust a few things there, but I think all parts of our game are starting to come together, because when people talk about it, as a coach, are you an attacking coach or a defensive coach? I think they're so linked now. If you make poor decisions, ball in hand, in offence, it hurts your defence. And then if, defensively you don't do the right things, it doesn't help you attack. So, it's just trying to, work on our game overall. And we've just been chipping away every week, and I'm starting to see that improvement week on week, which is good.
My last question for you before I hand over to Spider. Really young group, and really good under-19s coming through, and a big group of under-19s coming through. Is that a really exciting part about coming back to the club as well? Yeah,
it is, and I certainly did my homework too before coming back. Because look, I aspire to get this club back up into the Premier division, and that's my aim. And I think to do that, and for it to be sustainable, to stay up there long term, you need that young group coming through, and we certainly do have that. So I'm excited by that. We've got 2 17-year-olds playing today, Will Milton and young Garthwaite. So it's always good as a coach to give those young guys an opportunity, and they've certainly held their own. And there's a bunch of others coming through too. So that's the aim. We want to get back up into Premier Division and then make sure we can stay up there.
Brett, great to chat to you again. Been a long time, but always enjoy chatting footy with you. From the coaching perspective today, what are some of the key focus and message points that you'll talk to the players about in the lead into today's game? I mean, you've just elaborated on a couple of things just then, but what are 3 real key points today going in against a team like Mitcham? We're on top of the ladder, defensively very sound, strong midfield, and have been scoring, right throughout the course of the season to date so far.
Yeah, that's right. Mitcham are a very good team. When looking at them, obviously their contested possession numbers are really good. I think they're number 1 ranked, team in the competition around that. I think we're a close second. So I think the contest side of it's really important today. Having said that, though, I think we can get an advantage from a clearance stoppage perspective. Obviously, with the big O in there and the way we structure up, I think they're sort of middle of the road when it comes to ball up clearance, and I think they're sort of down towards the bottom when it comes to boundary throwing clearance. So I think that part of the game will be important for us. Look, they are the number 1 team in the competition for intercept possession as well. So like I was talking about before, when we get those opportunities ball in hand, whether it be live play, we've got to make sure that we force their defenders to defend and not give it back, and same in a controlled situation as well. When we take a mark or we get a free kick, we make sure we set the ground up and force them to defend again. We don't want to be giving the ball back to them. So contested possession, the clearance game and intercept possession's going to be really important for us to make sure that the ball spends time in our forward half as opposed to their forward half.
Let's talk about the influence and the impact that Oscar McInerney's had since coming into the playing group. Obviously, we know what he's done, through the Brisbane Lions, and what sort of impact has he had, and just the players around the club have been able to, I suppose, get the feed, even just to talk to him about his experiences, and just, I suppose, you're sponging off a player like that because he's been such a decorated player. For him to come back and make the immediate impact at this level, what sort of things has he done around the club to really generate that excitement going into a big game such as today?
Yeah, no, he has brought a lot of excitement, which is fantastic for the club and the playing group. It's funny, when he played that first game against Montana, he pulled his boots out to play and he still had confetti in there from the grand final last year. So, but the thing with Oscar is he's such a humble guy, very grounded, and it's just it's so fantastic just not only to bring someone of his calibre from a playing point of view into the team, but someone with his character. And I think more than anything, that's what the guys will learn from him. Obviously he plays a pretty specialist role as a ruck, and not everyone can play as a ruck. But he certainly helps the midfielders in terms of their understanding the game and where to position themselves and to get best body position to be able to help win the footy and win the clearance. So he's been valuable in that regard. But it's more so who he is as a person and the way he approaches his footy, and he doesn't take himself too seriously. And so look, I'm rapt to have him back. It was obviously I coached him when he was coming through, and I think when he was first playing in the reserves and then early days in the seniors, probably the biggest thing was just marking overhead. He couldn't quite hang on to him for long enough because of his strength, but now he's a force to be reckoned with, and you've seen his numbers so far in the 3 games that he's played. He's been great for us.
Do you have to map out a bit of a plan for him in terms of, like, you always want him to play every game throughout the course of the season, but will there be times during the back end of the year where you may have to manage it a little bit, if you're getting to the point where you're making a run towards the finals? Yeah,
look, potentially. We haven't gone with a pure second ruck again today. We have, Ty and a few others go in there to help him out in the ruck. But again, the great thing with Oscar is because he's got that experience, he knows his body really well. We'll be guided by him a fair bit. So we're in conversation all the time about how he's travelling, and I'll be guided by him as to what we need to do to best support him to get him through.
Finally, how do you cope with all of the VFL players coming in and out of the side, and how do you try and balance that out? Obviously there's been a lot of conversations regarding McLaughlin, whether he's going to be playing for you throughout the course of the season, guys getting potentially drafted. How do you try to manage that and harness that within a playing group when you've got guys, for that continuity purpose? Things, one week to the next, you don't know exactly who you've got and when you've got them.
Yeah, I think a philosophy of ours as a footy club is we want to see guys playing at the highest level that they can. And if they're doing that, we think we're doing something right as a program as well. So we certainly encourage that and want to see that happen. And if they do come back and play for us, it's with open arms. And obviously they're good players, been able to play at a high level, and we'll absolutely make it work when they're ready and ready to play at this level.
Well, Brett, thank you very much for joining us on the Past Players Day. It's always a big day for a football club, and today a really good game for the players, past players, to get their teeth into. It's a big game for the Montrose Football Club, and good luck to you and your team today. And hopefully by 5 o'clock you will be 4-4.
That's the aim. Appreciate it, and good to see you guys, and all the best for the call. Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
very much. There you have Montrose coach Brett Johnson joining us this afternoon here on EFNL game day. It's always good to talk to the coaches, gentlemen, and it's always good to get an insight from both of them, from the coaches every week, isn't it?
Well, look, I the thing I love about him is that I was saying beforehand that I was lucky enough to coach against him when he was a playing coach, and he's the best playing coach I've seen in this competition. His ability to coach on the ground was second to none. I felt like it was a bit unfair because he was so good as a player and he was so good as a coach, and coaching on the sidelines, I felt like powerless because he was able to do stuff on the ground that was simply sensational, and good fella too, really good fella.
We're actually, Spider, look, the three of us have been involved in this competition for many, many years, and I can't help but feel now that we're absolutely blessed, probably with some of the best coaches in all divisions now throughout this football league. Do you agree?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, to be able to have a person like Brett who just sat beside us, he's had experience, sitting next to Chris Scott and down at Geelong, and in an AFL environment, and he's not the only one. We've got so many coaches that have gone and experienced, at different levels, and to be able to come back and give that information to players at this level, it just makes the competition all better for it. And I think that helps players progress and who have the ambition to go higher. And we've got to look at what's happened, with guys like Cooper Trinbath. They've got that education from a playing perspective, and now they're doing it at an AFL level.
Well, the coaches keep coming fast and thick, and sitting upon top of the ladder at the moment is the Mitcham Football Club at 6-1. They've come back down from Premier Division, and they could not have started the season any better. And it's a very warm welcome to the coach, Neil Winterton. Good afternoon, Neil.
Good afternoon, guys. Thanks for having me.
Neil, did you think that when you came back down that you were going to have such a start to a season, considering what you'd went through last year?
Oh, obviously that was the plan, but you're never too sure. Like, we know this division really well. It's a very tight competition as it is again this year. But we felt we learned some really valuable lessons last year in Premier Division, which we've obviously tried to incorporate into our game. So we were confident that would hold us in good stead. But you're never really sure till you get out there. So to be sitting on top of the ladder at the moment with 6-1 or what round are we in? I don't even know what round we're in.
We're at 8, I think.
8, right. So we're 7-1 then. We're really happy with where we're at.
So in terms of the season so far, in terms of the competition, how have the players actually found it, and yourself in terms of planning on a Saturday for pre-match or for the game itself? Is there a lot more matchups that you've got to think about now than what you've had to in the past?
Yeah, I think so. I think every year each division for that matter gets better. You get more quality players coming in, a lot of ex-AFL, ex-VFL guys that you need to put a lot of time and effort into. So, we really felt that last year when we went up to Premier Division. You're coming up against multiple ex-AFL and VFL players. So that gave us some really good grounding to be able to do that again this year. But yeah, I think the division is super even. Like, if you look at the ladder, there's probably 6 teams fighting for that top 5, and at the end of the year maybe somebody's going to be really, whoever misses is probably going to be really, really unlucky, and a really quality team, and any of those 6 teams there can beat anyone on any given day. So It's a quality division, as we knew coming back the division because we did know it so well. But yeah, it's been an enjoyable start to the season.
So from last year, I want to know, what did you learn as a coach? Having experience what you've experienced in this division and the previous ones, you go to Premier. I didn't think you were too bad. I just think it was one of those situations where if we talk about 4 and 5 goal differences, it seemed to be a lot of that right through the season. What have you learned that you're able to then bring back and make you a better coach?
I just think we needed to get a lot better structurally, so defensively more so than anything, and that's something that we've worked a lot on and I think have got better at. We sort of, obviously dropping back a division, we knew that was happening, but we've sort of had the mindset as if we're still playing Premier footy, because that's obviously our ultimate aim. So there's no point coming back to Division 1 and trying to do something that's not going to work in Premier. So we're trying to incorporate structures and stuff like that that's going to hold us in good stead if we're lucky enough to get back up there. The club has invested really heavily in GPSs and cameras that are behind the goals and that sort of stuff, because we saw that's what other clubs in Premier Division were doing, and we're probably a little bit behind the 8 ball in respect to that sort of stuff. So I think, just structurally, defensively, and then the stuff outside the game with the GPS data and vision behind the goal and stuff was we needed to close that gap, and we've done that so far.
And I suppose at the start of the year, you grab your magnets, you put them on the board, you look at the side and you sit back and you go, you know what, I reckon we're looking okay. And then we look at this round, and there's a few of those magnets that are definitely not there at the moment.
Yep.
However, it seems to be that there's some real depth within the group, because while you're probably not playing the football that you want to play, and you are playing some pretty good football considering you've got some real talent that's sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, we are a bit hamstrung at the moment with injury, and we probably have been for the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, to be honest. And I think that's what's been so pleasing about our results so far, the fact that we've had key personnel not available for long stretches of time, but we've still been able to get the results. We were confident going into the year that we'd constructed a list that probably in my time at the club was as deep as it had been. Obviously, you never really want to have to test that depth because you want a good run with injuries, but that hasn't been the case so far, and hopefully we're getting all our injuries out of the way in the front half of the year, and we can get some really clear air in the back half of the year and get some of our better players back, which will start to filter in post this upcoming bye. But our depth has been tested, but we've been really impressed with some guys that have stood up and played some roles that probably at the start of the year we didn't envisage them having to do so, but they've acquitted themselves really well.
And I suppose that then transcends to the fact that if you go to the next step next year, if that does occur, you've got great faith in the fact that you've got a fairly good list that comes back fully injured, but the depth is at a level where now you go, well, you know what, we may not have to top up as much as what we thought.
Yeah.
Is that something you're looking at?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we found that last year. Like, you need depth. Like, last year, you mentioned we were sort of in a lot of games, and we were. But once the injuries start to hit, which inevitably they do, you can't do too much about that. We were probably struggling with our depth. So the fact that we've been able to get a lot better depth this year is going to hold us in good stead for obviously not only this year, but going forward, whether that's in Premier or Division 1 again next year. That you need that, because, as I said, the injuries come, and you need guys to be able to step up. And and last year I think was great for some of our younger kids who were exposed to playing on some really, really good footballers, and it fast-tracked their development, like a Hudson Goulding, who's now a starting midfielder for us. He's still eligible for under-19s. Hamish Gill, who's out at the moment, he's still eligible for under-19s. He was a starting mid for us in the first month of footy. So these guys really fast-tracked their development last year in Premier, and we're seeing the fruits of that this year.
Neil, great to chat to you again. Good luck this afternoon.
Thanks, mate.
When you come out here to a place like Montrose, it's a very unique place to play your footy. Over the last X amount of years, the record for Mitcham hasn't been great out here.
No, it hasn't.
How do you address that going into a game like today with the playing group?
Yeah, it is, mate. It's a tricky place to come to. I think in my playing/coaching career, I've probably played here 8 or 9 times. I'm pretty sure I've never won here. So
no, since 2019, Neil, you haven't. You only played here 4 times and won.
Well, even when I was at Mulgrave and Basie, I don't think I had any success coming here either. So it's a bloody tough place to play. It's a unique
It's almost like an 8-point game for you today.
So
Absolutely.
what's the correct way to play this game? What's the best method for you guys today?
Yep.
How are you going to have to play to get the ultimate result?
Well, I think because it is such a small ground, clearances are essential, in this, particularly centre clearances, and they've obviously got an exceptionally good ruckman in Oscar McInerney, who's putting up some incredible numbers over the last sort of 3 weeks he's been playing. So we need to try and counteract that the best we can, which is obviously a really difficult thing for us to be able to do. But I think. Yeah, they've just been better at us in the contest every time we've played here. It's probably, to be fair, it's probably the best conditions we've seen. I know as I look up, there's always clouds rolling over those hills. They just like a magnet. Clouds just sort of tend to hang over those hills. So they are predicting rain later, but pretty much every time we've played here, it's been quite wet and muddy and stuff, and we probably haven't adapted to those conditions well enough today. So I think, we need to be really hard around the contest today. Obviously, be able to hit some forwards going inside forward 50. But I think if we're going to win the game today, we need to be tough around the contest. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and what are sort of the three other key points to today's focus for you? You just talked about some stuff there, but what else do you think you need to do to really get the ascendancy here this afternoon? Yeah,
we've got a... Jono's not going to hear this, is he? No, we've got a strong focus on our forward 50 pressure this week. It's been down the last couple of weeks. I think we've only averaged 4 tackles inside forward 50 the last 2 weeks, which is nowhere near good enough. And I know I've told the forwards that in no uncertain terms, so hopefully we get a response in that respect. And just, I think we're a little bit sloppy with our disposals last week against Beaconsfield out on a bigger ground. So we need to clean that up. So if we can get our defensive side of our game, play a strong front half game, which is when we're playing our best footy, lock the ball inside forward 50 as strongly as we can, set up really strong behind the footy, give us some good coverage. That'll be the key to us playing well today.
Seems like a different dynamic also down forward this year.
It is,
compared to previous years where you've probably been a little bit... reliant on one player in Perante. This year it's a little bit different. At the start of the year, you had Mitch Johnson in the team and came in. Unfortunately, went out injured. That's been a bit of a setback for you. So, but you've had a bit of a different look up forward this year because you've had to contrast to try and get a bit of a different look, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, like when we had Jake down there, it was kick it to Jake, and he'll more often than not he's going to do the work for you. Mitch started the year really well, and it was obviously a big blow for us when he hurt his knee. Cam Alden's been super for us. He's
What about his impact though? So talk about him a little bit more. What impact do you think he's really had since coming into the team on a more regular basis?
Yeah, mate, he's as good a sort of one-on-one player that I've seen, but it's not only in the air, it's at ground level. He's like a cat. When the ball hits the ground, he's so agile and clean, and like if we can get the ball to him, and in fairness to him, we probably haven't really delivered it to him that well, and he still managed to sort of hit the scoreboard. So we need to be able to get the ball to him much cleaner, and him, because I think he's probably, without looking at the stats, he's probably averaging sort of 4 goals a game, and he's probably only averaging 7 or 8 touches. We're just not getting the ball to him clean enough and often enough. So he and the boys know he's a good player. He's come from a VFL level, and just his impact out on the track too gives the boys a bit of a lift. But yeah, we've had to sort of. But he's not a forward you can just bomb the ball on his head. That's not his go, because he's not a giant.
No.
But if you give him space, he's a really difficult proposition. But yeah, you've mentioned that we've had to change the way we go inside forward 50, which to a certain degree I think has made us harder to defend. I think we're first in the comp for marks inside forward 50. So we're not as focused on one player as we potentially have been in the past. We've got some other guys down there that can take a mark. Tommy Lovell's not there today, but he's a big out for us as well. But we do have some guys that can mark the footy and hit the scoreboard. So I think although you don't have that one guy that can kick 7 or 8, although Cam's more than capable of doing that, it does make us harder to defend.
Well, Neil, thank you very much for coming up and giving up your time again on a Saturday afternoon. It's always a pleasure having you come up and talk about the Mitcham Football Club and what could happen on a Saturday afternoon when your team takes place on the ground. And but for now, thank you very much for giving up your time again, and we look forward to seeing you next time when Mitcham are on game day.
No worries, thanks guys, have a good call.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the coach of Mitcham Football Club, Neil Winterton, joining us here this afternoon.
Yeah, great insight, really enjoyed the chat, and Well, I think when you look at Mitcham, today, some of those challenges that present, it's just going to be an enthralling contest the way this might play out.
Before we go to our break, I'd like to draw attention to a significant moment in the AFL this week, the passing of Neil Danaher.
Yeah.
Neil, as we're all aware, fought the good fight for MND, a beast of a disease that he calls it, motor neuron disease. He lasted 13 years and he did a wonderful job, and he was a wonderful ambassador for in raising its awareness. So on behalf of the Eastern Football League and their major radio partner, Radio Eastern 98.1, from the board all the way down to the clubs, in men's and women's, in the football side and in the netball side, and all our supporters and just lovers of the Eastern Football Netball League, we'd like to pay our respects and pass on our wishes to the Danaher family on their loss. And the best way that you can support Neil is get out to the MCG next Monday on the big Melbourne-Collingwood clash, and support the big slide again.
Get your beanie like I've got.
And get your beanie, what Spider's got on today. But valet to you, Neil Danaher.
Yeah, great Australian.
Great Australian. And Davo, you mentioned yesterday on the podcast about a particular game of football that Neil Danaher played against Carlton in 1981. Well, actually, I was at that ground sitting underneath the old scoreboard that day, where he kicked 4 goals in the last quarter, and you're right. It was one of the best quarters of football I think I've ever seen from an AFL, EFL footballer, and it was a pity that injury cruelled him, because he was heading for stardom as a footballer.
Oh, without a doubt. And look, and you think about it, the injury that he suffered is something that these days is, probably maybe 12 months or less, and you're back on the track. But back in 81, once that had happened, that was it. So it was your career over. So it's sad. But I'll tell you what, last thing from me, fantastic to see that all the Mitcham senior players are out warming up at the moment, and every one of them is in a MND beanie. So that is a fantastic tribute to this wonderful weekend that we're having to support MND.
And we remember Neil. Yeah.
And in the words of Neil Danaher, as he said, he wouldn't want us to, mooch about, and his motto was, let's play on, and we will. But we're going to go to our first break, and then when we come back, we are going to play on, because then we're going to review all the games that are going to take place in the Eastern Football Netball League this afternoon. You're on game day here at Montrose Recreation Reserve. It's Montrose versus Mitcham. We're coming to you live on Radio Eastern 98.1 and streaming all around the world on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be back right after this.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in, because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The one thing that puts a smile on my face is my kids.
The sun shining through the clouds, even in winter, absolutely puts the biggest smile on my face.
Seeing delicious food on the table, ready for me when I get home.
One thing that always puts a smile on my face is seeing my family.
The thing that puts a smile on my face every time is really good music.
Just the simple pleasures in life.
Be remembered for the greatest moments in your life. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet. Pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1
with live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
2:20 is game time here at Montrose Recreation Reserve this afternoon between Montrose and Mitcham. But before then, we've got some games to go through in the Eastern Football Netball League. 4 games set down for decision in Premier Division next week, with Noble Park and Balwyn being the traditional King's birthday clash. But to kick it off, Berwick, all right, they had a blip on the radar last week in a big way against Roval. They're back at Edwin Flack this afternoon, and they're taking on Blackburn. And this could be a slippery peel game.
Banana skin.
Yeah, for Blackburn. Whilst on paper, Blackburn should be winning this game. But I tell you what, the one thing that I've noticed with Berwick is they're amassing more and more possessions on a weekly basis. Last week, even when they got lost, they amassed 373 touches of the football. So it's not like they can't get their hands on the football, Davo. And you said yesterday that they could be the real upset this afternoon in Premier Division.
Yeah, well, I've had a look at the ins and outs as well. And Blackburn, I think, are missing Macadorian.
Yep.
And they're also missing their captain. So they're 2 big outs for them.
Yeah.
2 on-ball outs as well. And I just think that... I think Berwick have just done enough to say to me that they're going to be a bit of a threat today, and it would not upset me, would not surprise me, I should say, if there was an upset, and I'm actually tipping it. I think they'll get up by 10 points.
Well, I'm sticking with Blackburn, but I think I agree in that I think Berwick are definitely a chance. We've seen what they can do in the first part of the season with their contested possessions, but also the way they defend, and they're scoring a lot more. So that's going to be a challenge for Blackburn, particularly down back, where defence has been a little bit of an issue for them in recent times. Like, they are still conceding score, and we know they are scoring a lot now, but that is going to be something they'll have to watch today. But I do think Blackburn will win the game. I think they might just sneak over the line.
You're right, Spider, and I think the fact that game against Doncaster East, even though Blackburn kicked 150, they still conceded 104 points.
Yeah, and I was at that game. And
I think in terms of Premier Division, I think we can all agree that you can't afford to be conceding 100 points in a game of football in Premier Division on a weekly basis. It's not, your defence is not performing to its capabilities if that's been allowed.
Yeah, that's certainly the challenge for them, and on the ground like Berwick too. That is going to be play a big factor in the game, and to see how they cope with the way that Berwick play that ground at times. They'll want to try and lock down when they can. But Berwick are a very unique side now. They've really upped the ante the way that they play. They're really good in all 3 facets of the game, and they've really started to develop. So there's some really good signs.
And just compared to last year, gentlemen, Berwick are averaging 277 disposals on 2025 form, Well, they're 60 possessions better on average so far this year. So they're averaging nearly 330 possessions a game, which which keeps them in the contest for a lot longer than what it has in the past.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Vermont play one of their very rare games at Vermont Recreation Reserve whilst the pavilion and new change rooms are going up. Unfortunately for them, they come up against a red-hot East Ringwood side, and even with the injuries that East Ringwood have got and the players that they brought in, it still seems like to me that East Ringwood still hold all the cards in this game this afternoon.
Yeah, look, I think Tweedy being out is a big out for them, but then they can throw May back if they have to.
Yeah.
I just think Vermont are playing a bit better football than what we're giving them credit for as well.
They are.
I don't think Vermont are going to. I don't think East Ringwood are going to come out and smash them, but I do believe it's going to be a much more of a contest. And as long as the young Vermont midfield can cut supply a little bit, they've got to stop the second handball.
Yes.
If they can stop the second handball out of the stoppage, then I think they're going to go halfway to being really competitive in the game. And I think they'll be competitive right up to a final stage, but East Ringwood have shown they've got that many different gears in the way they play this year that they'll probably get over the line, and they're pretty strong up forward as well with Pearson being in great form.
Lawson's back in the team today. Look, I think the big challenge for Vermont, and I think one thing that they have been very good at in probably the last month, is that their forward line structure has settled down and they've been able to score. I mean, Wiedemann's been out of the team, but they've still had some guys that have been able to
share it around
and share it around. And I think that's been the most impressive thing about Vermont, which they've been doing in that month. Like, they've played some really rock solid footy. So there is a little bit of optimism about Vermont at the moment. I think East Ringwood win this game, but I think they might push them for the majority of the afternoon. I just think that it's that sort of a game where East Ringwood might have to fight tooth and nail, right? And it might not be until, who knows, late in the last quarter until they put the game away.
I just think the only thing that holds Vermont back this afternoon, and I still think it's a glaring, whilst they're really good at getting in and under, extracting the ball, where I reckon East Ringwood really set themselves apart is the outside. They're the best outside run team, and that's where I think Vermont will struggle this afternoon, and that's why I think East Ringwood will win the game, probably by about 6-7 goals.
So you need to against East Ringwood, you need to have your half forwards and your wingers both need to have a really defensive mindset as soon as the opposition gets close to the ball. Because that's where they get their run from. They get enormous run and carry from those players pushing back. Their wingers push back, then they run through as soon as they've got the footy. And once they get that chaining together, they're very, very hard to stop.
Actually, I reckon Johns and Pearson might line up against each other this afternoon in the midfield. I reckon that might be a fair matchup.
Yeah, but Pearson's been playing a lot forward. I mean, he hasn't done a lot through the midfield this season today. He's been playing across that half forward line and doing some excellent things. Like, I'm just been so surprised and impressed how well that he has actually played, because there were some question marks on the level and whether he was still capable of playing at the level.
Doncaster East come up against an irresistible force in Roval this afternoon. They've fluffed their lines over the last couple of weeks, Doncaster East. They've got outs today. Big outs, Brash. And big outs, and the fact that they're relying on Shaki and Shalakis to kick the bulk of the goals against a highly talented Roval side that they just ooze class in nearly every part of the ground. I can see Roval doing a number on Donny East today.
I can as well, and as I said yesterday, you can't they've got an outstanding full forward, but if you're kicking 8 goals and getting done, because you don't have enough help around you, that really says something about your setup. And do we know what Doncaster East is going to turn up today? That's our problem.
We don't really know.
We don't have trust and faith in them at the moment, and until they show us some trust and faith, it's very hard to be sure about what sort of game they're going to provide. So Roval, we know what we're going to get, and we know they play their systems very well, incredibly well coached, and I think they're going to be way too strong.
Yeah, I think Rover will win this game. My biggest concern for Doncaster East is not having Kleiner in that team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been really important for them, and particularly in that game a couple of weeks ago against Blackburn, he really held that defensive part of the ground together, like with their rebound. But I thought also on that day that their defensive aspects of their game, like you get a guy like Dooman, he's a very good player, but when he hasn't got that full complement of support, it makes it very hard. So they're going to be up against it, I think.
Yeah, I think Rover by about 40 for mine, maybe even more. Probably for mine. This is because of the importance of this game. This game probably ends up being match of the round, whether you like it or not. And it's South Croydon at home to South Belgrave, because in terms of ladder position for both these sides, it's a must-win game. And I look at South Croydon as against the form of South Belgrave in recent times, and my form, I'm tipping South Croydon. The fact that I think they've got a little bit more experience, and I feel that their form against some of the higher rated sides has been a lot more consistent, and they've been able to slowly start running games out. Interestingly, and I put this question to Dave, but I'm going to put it to you both again. What does Christian Height do with Tim Smith? Now, do you play Tim Smith at centre half back to play on Sheridan, right? Or do you play him forward? Because if you're playing defensively, I sort of almost feel like it's admitting defeat, right, that you're putting your best player to nullify their best forward. I think if they don't put Smith in the forward line, I can see South Croydon, taking full advantage of that, Davo.
So a couple of things from me. One, Cheong is a difficult ground to play on, and I don't think South Belgrave have played there, have they?
No, not as far as I can see.
So it's a bit like going up to South Belgrave. It's an unusual ground.
Unfamiliar territory.
And so Cheong's unusual. South Croydon generally play it okay. The Smith situation, you've got to go. I mean, you shouldn't be talking about one individual, but unfortunately that's what we've got to do when we're talking about South Belgrave at the moment, because they've got a few injuries and no one's standing up to really give them a lot apart from in the ruck. So I think if I'm going to put Smith forward, I'm going to clear the forward line out and put some pressure on everyone else to say, well, if you're going to flood back on Smith, then it's going to open up other players to be open and see what happens. If we're going to put him at centre half back, then the beauty of Smith at centre half back is the fact that we know he'll play well on Sheridan, and then will he have enough in his tank to become an effective player running off him and creating further up ground and then back defensively on Sheridan?
I think there might be times, Davo, where he may play both roles. I think there might be a period of the game where he may play down back at a point, and then they might have to have that flexibility and pull the trigger and go, we need to push him forward to see if we can generate some score, because scoring has been a bit of an issue for South Belgrave, and if they're going to win this game, they've got to kick goals. I mean, that's the facts.
Yep.
And the midfield is a bit of a concern for me as well. They're coming up against some quality players. Anthony Scott and Braden Kilpatrick. If they get first hands on that ball this afternoon, then it could be a long day for them.
So, in both your mind, if there's a big margin that South Croydon win by this afternoon, is that alarm bells for South Belgrave?
I think there's alarm bells anyway, but it is. The other thing they could do is, we saw a really interesting move last week when Mulgrave pushed Roberts to a wing.
Yes.
And he was able to float between defence and the forward line.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't have the stamina. He admitted it later on that he wasn't able to keep the engine going for long enough. Smith could do that.
Yeah,
Smith
definitely
could play on a wing and he could float both ways. Third man up defender, push forward and hope that the winger isn't going to go with him and then create something up forward. So there are options, but definitely if look, I think there's alarm bells two ways here.
Yep.
If South Croydon win easy, then South Belgrave are really looking at down the barrel. But if, on the other hand, South Belgrave get up, South Croydon, we're starting to see then where are they going? What is happening? Today has got to be the start of their progress, and if they don't,
well, South Belgrave, if they win today, they get a game. They're a game and a half ahead of South Croydon.
Correct.
And when you look at the fact that all the other sides are at least have won 3 or 4, the weeks will keep shrinking where South Croydon and Noble Park won't be able to move any further up the ladder. And then when that happens, which possibly could happen by round 13 or 14, then it's going to be only 2 sides that will be fighting out for relegation, which we'll look at that scenario if it occurs.
Yeah, big crunch game for South Croydon.
18 points for mine.
Yeah, South Croydon win. I think they do it by about 4 goals.
Yeah. Let's move into Div 1. There's maybe not so many games that on paper they'd look like victories to quite a few sides. Beaconsfield are improved form of late, taking on an improving Norwood, but Norwood's still got a bit of a way to go.
Yeah, I'm going Beaconsfield here.
Beaconsfield for me, but I think there's some positive and promising signs for Norwood. I think the margins are getting lesser, and I think they're building. I think next week
is the big one, isn't it?
The big opportunity.
They play Bayswater.
To play Bayswater to get that win. Brett Moore, though, he must be encouraged with some of their progress, though, because they are starting to show some signs.
And Wantirna South, who have taken, or I think they've taken all before them this season. You know, coming up a division, there's always an unknown factor. They've taken to Division 1 like duck has to water this time around. And they take on Bayswater, who, let's be honest, are really struggling at the moment. And it wouldn't be a surprise if the Devils get a big victory this afternoon.
Yeah, I think they'll get up and have a win. They get the Hewitts back in, so that really helps them. They win easy today.
Yeah, big win for the Devils coming. Bayswater just not going to be able to compete for 4 quarters.
An injury-depleted Boronia travelled to Domini Reserve this afternoon, where Park Orchards, for mine, are just going at the moment. They're nowhere near going as well as what they were last year. But unfortunately for me, even with the inclusions that Boronia brought back into their lineup, there's
a Brasher.
Yeah, Brasher's back in after damaging his shoulder in the finals last year. He's going to be short of a run, I can tell you that much. But look, getting him back in the midfield, it's going to help with the extraction part of it. But I think Boronia still have got issues. Begley's out of form at the moment, to be quite honest. But their injury list is big. And look, if they get within 2 or 3 goals of Park Orchards, I reckon it's going to be an achievement and enough. But I think Park Orchards, just on the fact that even with Prozenak out, I still think they get the job done.
I think if Park Orchards were playing anyone else in the top 5 area, top 6 area, they'd lose.
Yep.
But I think Boronia have just got a few too many out at the moment. And I'm glad Brasher's back in, because he and Mellis together were a great combination. People underrated Brasher. But he did some really good work, and I reckon he will take 1 or 2 weeks to get back into form, but it's good that he's back in. But I think they've got Hannon out as well, so they're just missing too many key players, and I think Park Orchards will get over the line, but it'll be a close one, I think.
Yeah, I think Boronia will be pretty competitive in this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Park Orchards will have to really work to get this victory, but I expect them to come away with a win by around about 20 points. Yeah.
And I think North Ringwood deserve their favouritism. I've been really impressed with them this year. They've won some hard games. It's been a bit of a character building year for them as well, backing up from last year. They could have easily fallen away, with the disappointment, but they've got back on their horse. They're right in the mix this year. And Mooroolbark, they don't win out of turn, but unfortunately it won't be their turn today.
No, again, they're a little bit of, we don't know what Mooroolbark is going to actually turn up and play. They've got some nice players in their side, with Hartman still in and a few
Hartman
other boys.
And Gilby coming back in from VFL, and they've been both going very well. at VFL level. So, look, they'll be competitive, but North Ringwood, look, they'll be too strong. They'll win that by about 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah, North Ringwood for me as well.
Well, gentlemen, we've run out of time. We can't even go through Divisions 2, 3 and 4, but that's just the nature of the beast. The main game is now going to start to be prepared for its readiness, and with that being said, it's time for us to take a break, and when we assemble, the call team will be back to take you through the big match this afternoon. It's Montrose versus Mitcham. It's coming to you live on Radio Eastern 98.1 and streaming all around the world on YouTube and Facebook.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The superpower I'd love for a day is to fly.
If I could have a superpower for a day, it would be to time travel so I could go back and see how life was when my parents were young and stuff like that.
Be mind reading. It's always good to know what other people are thinking.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, their superpower is always providing compassionate care to families at their absolute time of need. Get to know the team at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Montrose Recreation Reserve, Eastland Match of the Round. It is the D's and Tigers meeting for the first time since the 2024 season. 2 old rivals. Looking forward to this one as the D's start to make their way out onto the ground for the first time this afternoon. I'm Ryan Long, joined by a full crew, starting with Blake Tennant, who I'm sure you're looking forward to getting stuck into this one. A big game between 2 sides who have certainly got a bit of a rivalry. And looking forward to seeing how they match up today.
Yes, good afternoon all listeners around the globe, especially on Radio Eastern and on YouTube today. Geez, we're in for a good one, I reckon. Montrose, the second highest scoring team coming into today's game against the team that hasn't put a foot wrong in coming down to Division 1. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It feels it's good to come back to a place that is a great place to be at today. And hope for you guys, for your sake, you enjoy the game too.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're watching home from YouTube, you can see the clouds in the air. A great view from us from the grandstand, but potentially some rain on its way. Also joining us is Wayne Brasher in the special comments. Brash, well done with the pre-game. Looking forward to getting to this clash this afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much, Ryan. And I think this is, I think on paper, this is a really important game for Montrose this afternoon. Look, their first month was a bit scratchy, but I've seen signs over the last 3 weeks that things are starting to come together. And this is an important game because they need to win this to stay in touch today, Ryan.
Absolutely, it is important. It's a bit of an 8-point game for them. Emily Mackay also back this afternoon. Great to have you back on board a Saturday, and looking forward to this one. You know this division very well. You've coached against both these sides, so I'm sure you're going to be able to have a lot of insight on today's clash.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to this one, obviously with the position of where Mitcham are at, and obviously there's a few outs from them, and so it does give Montrose a good opportunity to show us what they're capable of. There's a couple of outs also for Montrose too, so we're in for a tight game. Very happy that it's match of the round this week.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it. A lot more to come, but we do have on the boundary line today Josh Ward and Jared Beanland. Wardy, I'll start with you. How is it down there, and what are the conditions there? I know the wind does play havoc here at times. How is it at the moment?
It's calm at the moment, the breeze, and hello to you, Ryan, Blake, and all the listeners and viewers out there tuning into this contest. It is starting to drizzle a little bit at the moment, not too heavy the rain, but it might start to play a bit of a factor later on. But otherwise, breeze is picking up at times, but no real wind advantage to speak of.
Thanks, Josh. Also, Jared down on the boundary. Great to hear from you for the first time this afternoon.
Thanks very much, Ryan. G'day to yourself and all the listeners as well. Looking forward to a really good game. Interesting to see. I'll be interested to see how the weather does affect play, whether or not it's going to play into the hands of one team or the other. The contested ball games of both teams are very strong. Very keen for this one, although the timing on the rain was a little bit brutal for me and Wardy.
There you go. Before we go back to us and to discuss this a little bit in more depth, your tips this afternoon, both of you?
I've backed Mitcham. I was tossing and turning during the week, but I've gone Mitcham with the conditions on hand. And no Brody McLaughlin, who's a laid out, also hurts for Montrose, I reckon. I think the Tigers get over the line, Jared.
I think I like Mitcham in this one as well. I reckon it's going to be a close one, though. I reckon it's going to be around that 9-point margin.
Yeah, looking forward to it. The game itself, Em, you just mentioned before about some of the outs. Both sides have got them. And if it does rain, I think it does bring the game in a little bit, and it could be a very contested game. And I think Mitcham, going back in history, probably play pretty well in the wet, so it might favour them if anything.
Yeah, so they play well in the wet, and they also play well on a small ground. You look at Walker Park, where their home ground is. It's very similar size to Montrose, and it'll be so good to see both of them contesting against each other on a ground that favours really both of them. I've only really seen Mitcham in the wet, so I'm going to be curious to see how Montrose hold up. Again, they've got McLaughlin out, so that's a bit of a tough one for them. Blake's given us the roll of the eyes every time everyone's giving the tip to Mitcham.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it could set up their Montrose this month. If they win this game, they've got Beaconsfield to come after the King's birthday weekend, and then after that they've also got Bayswater and Mooroolbark. So this is an 8-point game, as I think a few of you said on the podcast, and I think it well and truly is for Montrose's sake, but it'll be good for Mitcham because they've done this before. We've seen this multiple times.
Speaking of podcasts, 2 Tuesdays ago, I think it was, Blake, you put Montrose in the furnace.
I did.
Are they currently still there, or are we...
That's been asked. I've heard Montrose people asking that today to him.
Yes, it's good. It's a hard one to start, but we'll go to the boundary with Josh, who's on there.
Riley Nicholas has won the toss for Mitcham. They're kicking to the right of your broadcast, and Montrose are kicking to the left, or to the Mount Dandenong Tourist Road end of the ground.
Yeah, I did, because I just wasn't happy with how Montrose were tracking, that loss to Mooroolbark, and then which they, on paper, they should have won, but Mooroolbark were credit to, and they were the way much better team. So, I think it's going to be a cracking game. So, and who are we going through? Who's your tip today?
I'm going
Wayne
Montrose
Brasher?
by 18 points.
There you go. Em?
I was Mitcham by 20 originally, then McLaughlin went out, and I said Mitcham by about 42.
Jeez, blowout. That's okay. Ryan, who are you going to tip for this one?
I'm backing in the D's at home. I think the Tiger outs are key at the moment. And I just think Montrose at home, I think you've mentioned this before. I don't know if Mitcham have beaten Montrose here for a long time. So I think with Montrose's lineup, I know a couple of outs, RCD's a big one, but the big O out there, I just feel like this is a game for them to stand up and have a good win.
I think with Baglava coming back into the team for Mitcham, that's good for their ruck stocks. But I think for mine, McInerney holds the key to the contest. He's averaging 32 disposals a game. He's got a great aerobic capacity, and that's just one way I feel that Montrose can take advantage of Mitcham this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're almost set to go, as the umpire gets ready to bring us in for this Eastland match of the round. Montrose taking on Mitcham, Division 1 match of the round. Here we go, Blake Tennant, take us underway.
So the Big O and Baglava will have the huge say. The Big O gets the hit out. What a day it is down here at Montrose Recreation Reserve. 1v6 coming into today's game. If you have a look at the conditions on the skies, it's not looking great. So might get a scrappy second half, but we'll see how this one unfolds. Again, the kick there, that was by Carter. Inside the Demons forward arc here. I'm just going to slow things down with a great tackle. That was by Britton. It might be holding the ball, it is. And just in a nick of time, Montrose could have their first goal. And we've gone just about 40 seconds, Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, good forward line pressure there by Montrose. Actually forced Mitcham backwards there. Mitcham couldn't get an out, and they just kept coming. And really good tackle. Really good tackle there.
So Britton, he's having a very informed season. Kicked 5 goals a couple of weeks ago, 1 last week, kicked 3 as well. Kicked the Demons first, and it's drifting to the right. So that is Montrose's first behind end score of the day. 1 behind Montrose to Mitcham, yet to score. 1 minute in to this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yes, one plays zip as the Tigers will bring the ball back into play, and they'll decide to go long down the middle. It's covered half the ground, almost a mark. Out the back, the D's get a quick kick inside their forward 50. Tansmack tracking this one towards the boundary, picked up nicely. Now tucked away in the pocket, puts this one towards goal, and that is out of bounds on the full, so no score.
Is long down the line going to be key for a day like today?
Yeah, I think you've always got to play this ground straight down the middle then.
He's going to do it again, Maguire, right down the middle. This time almost works out to Crampton. D's get some numbers back to this contest. The handball from Barnes to Barton Smith, and now inside 50 for the first time of the afternoon for the Tigers. Is that a mark on the second juggle? Cam Olden takes it, and he's going to be very important today.
Yes.
We saw him in round 1 against the Hawks, kick 4 goals and play a pivotal role. And he has an opportunity here directly in front, about 35, 40 metres out to put the Tigers on the board. Come across to the club this year. He's kicked 153 senior goals. Olden comes in looking for the first of the day. It's just to the right, so a minor score, 1 point apiece on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 2.5 minutes into this first quarter. Let's go down the boundary with Josh Ward.
Cam Olden has got Liam Bowden for company down in Mitcham's forward 50, while Mackay Sanderson is also playing as a deep target. He's got Daniel Frith for company.
Yeah, well, Olden's averaging 4 goals a game, so
20 goals this year.
Yes, he is.
So Tennant gets it down for the Demons, looking for the Big O. Tackle was laid by Watson. Baton Leach into the team this week. You go again. Holds this on the outer side. Broadcast wing when we are. Strong tackle there by Cherry. Great inclusion for the Tigers. And Watson grabs this one. Goes inside 50 with the top of the arc here, with the 50 arc. Tigers rebounding really well with a strong tackle laid. So, good start to this game. 2 really strong clubs, and there's a free kick.
Blood rule, I think.
Blood rule. So it looks like it'll be a Mitcham player. If we can get the boundary forward, as it looks like.
Yep, that's Hudson Goulding coming off right now.
Okay. So it looks like Mason Porter will come involved for the Tigers, but this save from Eastern Rangers and on a VFL list too, I do believe. Snap kick, that was by Carter. That's going to roll out through for a boundary throw-in. 4 minutes in, 1-1 at the moment.
Mitcham setting up there around the ground throw-ins with 2 sweepers at the moment.
So the Big O gets the hit out for this one. Picking this ball up, here's the Tigers with a clearance kick. This ball's going to race out and it'll be another boundary throw-in.
Which is then resulting if the ball does go to ground, then that situation does happen. They're able to get the ball and get that kick down the line.
So boundary throw-in just in the Mitcham bench here. We also get a good look on the balcony here. It's a great view down here at Montrose. Good balcony views. Lava gets the hit out there. Try to find his teammate in Porter, but gets tackled immediately. So early stages, 5 minutes in. Big O just grabs it out. I'm sure we'll be seeing that a lot today in the game. This is really good pressure by Montrose. And dropping it was there. That was by Keller. And that's going to be another boundary throw-in. I think the nerves are starting to... I feel like both teams might be a bit nervous coming into this one. It feels that way. There hasn't been a dominance yet. It's gone inside 50s a lot for both teams.
That's because the disposal hasn't been clean, Blake.
Great. Grabs it out of the ruck. Really good there. Porter tries to get inside 50. He does. Intercepted by Tennant. Saying that name. Obviously, do have relations there. Is anyone watching in?
Is he related to you?
Yeah, it's me brother. He kicks it inside and a great mark taken by the Big O. Looking for Carter. And that's going to race out right in front of our 2 boundary reporters. Oh, Jared almost got cleaned up there.
On my life for a second.
No.
Play the game on this side, though.
So as Baglava gets the hit out, Tigers looking to go back into the attack with a chipping kick, and it's smothered away early by Hams.
Again, with that extra wing coming in, and they've always got a +1 as a defender, they're able to get that return on Montrose's just dump kicks down the line. So Mitcham is setting up really, really well for first quarter.
So boundary umpire to throw this one back in. Baglava and McInerney go at it. McInerney might have just given away a free kick in the process. Porter takes the advantage to the Tigers inside 50, juggling mark. And well done, Pizzazz, who can go back and potentially have a shot here from just outside the forward 50 arc. So Cam Pizzazz, who's come into the lineup and been solid for the Tigers.
I'll be aiming to the left goal post. There just seems to be a little bit of a always a bit of a slight breeze kicking down towards that end of the ground.
So he'll be kicking from just outside forward 50. The kick's not a bad one off the boot. That's right through the middle. Perfect start. Canvasaz gets his first. The Tigers get their first. 1-1-7 Mitcham. Montrose 1 behind. We've played 7 minutes into this first term.
Well, it's already shown that really you don't want to be playing down the wings on this ground. Whichever side takes ownership of the corridor very early will get all the advantages in the world. If their disposal is clean, then they can take advantage of that.
Yeah, this is one of those grounds where disposal has to be really top-notch.
Yeah.
So the 2 Rocks, Mitcham get their first goal of the day. 7 and a bit minutes in and a high tackle free kick.
Across the centre circle, Baglava.
Yes, forgot about that rule.
It's probably the first time we've seen it in a match of the round. It hasn't been paid very often.
So the Big O, been a great inclusion to this Demon sides. He gets it on a big boot inside the forward 50 to Britton. Tigers looking to rebound. Doing so, try to get this one up would be Baldwin. And he's tackled immediately and he grabs another tackle. So be a ball up just in the centre of Montrose's forward 50. Galbraith in the ruck, but Baglava just gets a hit out. Snap around the corner from Tanzamat. This ball might race out, and it does. So it's going to be a boundary throw-in.
Back on Baldwin. Very excited to see him play. It's his second game back this season, I think.
Eastern Ranger and, of course,
Box Hill VFL.
Yep. Knowing very well from the Rangers stocks, so it's good to see. I'm sure you do too, Em, which is great.
Yeah, he was in my under-16s crew. Yes. So it's good to finally see him play.
had a couple along the way play senior footies, which is good to see. As Mitcham get a clearance on the outer wing here down at Montrose Recreation Reserve today. Inside with an intercept mark taken by ABS, but it was touch on the boot. Trying to get this one out is Keller. Keller gets it outside to Eels. Takes a good mark. Slow things down, Montrose. Looking to get a good target. Stocks aren't in there at the moment. Big fly off by the big O. And he takes it over Baglava, which isn't easy to do, isn't it, Ryan?
No.
Yeah.
Could you name a defender in this league that is going to be able to match that height?
No.
Don't. It's going to be very...
Not if they push him forward. That's going to be the... Because he's going to have a rest sooner or later, and they're not going to... They'd rather rest him forward than have him running off the bench.
So the big O can line up and kick Montrose's first of the day, and it's going to drift to the left. Might even be through for a behind. It is. Montrose move two behind. Mitcham 1-1-7, 10 minutes in on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Baldwin will take the kick in here for the Tigers. He'll go towards the other side of the ground. The big O's underneath this one. He takes the grab, uncontested for the D's. Takes on two. Shows him the ball and sends it inside 50 towards the top of the square. Past players would have loved that up here on the balcony.
They're all behind us, though.
I know.
Behind the glass today.
Sure they'll come out at some stage, particularly if it's a close game in the second half.
Yeah.
And the
Wait till the reserves boys come up and after
boy.
half-time.
There's a bit ball brought back into play. Overdid everyone out the back. It was Britton. Got it off, kicking towards the direction of White. Great mark by Jackson Glossop coming in and playing on straight away. Saw that Marrow was out. He takes the mark at centre, the halfback flank here for the Tigers. Doesn't have much, so he goes back to Glossop. And they'll switch this now towards the other side. It's Riley Nicholas who moves this along. And they'll keep this going on the far side of the ground here. Pizzazz goes inbound, cut off here by White. White, the skipper for the D's, has a target in the middle of the ground. That's Brad Watson. Gets a handball off. Now going forward is Garthwaite. The kick's turned over. Nicholas was on his hands and knees but got it off in time. Now Baldwin under a bit of pressure here. Kept this one alive. Umpire says it's out, so we'll get a boundary throw in. Inside 50 here for the D's.
I'm very impressed by the skill execution here. It's very easy on a ground like this to just keep bombing the ball down the line, but the ball movement was really, really nice just then from both teams.
They just got to be careful them that they just don't turn it over in an area that's going to hurt them.
Galbraith out of the ruck, gets tackled immediately. That was by Crampton.
I think in general, any inside to the middle of the ground kick is a risky one.
It is, so high tackle. And it's going to go to Baglava into the team this week. Played a couple reserves games for the Tigers, and now he's into the team, which is good to see. Been a really good servant for the Mitcham Footy Club. They get inside. I don't know if this would be 15. Eels scoops this one up, gives it to Collins. Collins in the middle of the ground here at Montrose Reserve. Getting this one is Flynn Rebecca, and he's got a Glossop available here, but he chooses to go to the teammate in Keller. Keller goes to the top of the 50 arc at Montrose. There's a player all on his own, drops a mark that he should have taken. Goes inside to Duvallin, short kick, and chopping the arms. There will be a free kick going to Mitcham. I believe it will be Nathan Crampton.
Yep.
Good vision there. If it started from the outside wing, and the player should have taken that mark. Don't know who that one was, but go inside. Pretty good footy to see.
I like the short, sharp kicks. I reckon it's a very great way to move the ball. Their positioning's really good. Mitcham are using a winger as that +1, or whether they're having that spare. So that sort of helps set up this goal.
So Crampton kicked the Tigers second. He does so. Go umpire doesn't move. And Mitcham, they get the fast start here. 2-1-13 to Montrose, one behind. 13 and a half minutes gone into this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They've just taken their opportunities a lot better, Mitcham, in the early stages of this game. And, it's not from a lack of Montrose having forward 50 entries. They just haven't had enough clean entry into their forward 50M to produce enough scoring shots.
But hard to execute. There's a lot of pressure. Both these teams are really good. So Mitcham is putting that pressure on, which makes that decision-making really hard sometimes, especially with the forward 50 entries.
So back in the middle we go again. The Big O wins it down. Out in the middle, though, the Tigers might be able to get the clearance. The handball goes backwards. Doesn't hit a target. Going back there, Pratt. Now a chance for Horsey. Switches it. Dangerous kick, but it worked out okay. Barnes took the strong mark. Centre half back here for Mitcham. Short chip forward. By himself there was Hudson Goulding, who now moves it towards us on the broadcast side. Was looking for Duvalin, but it's cut off here by Fraser Smith. Our first look at him in the red and the blue this year. Been solid coming into the side from Croydon. There's now Whittle. Centre wing for the D's. Sends this one deep into attack. And the mark is taken. There's been a whistle. And it's going the way of the D. So
holding. There was a holding there.
So Galbraith will now certainly be in range. He's not far out. Bit of an angle here, looking for the D's first of the afternoon.
Kicked 6 goals last week against North Ringwood. So he got best on. So expecting to have a big day out here, Ryan.
Yeah, he's certainly one of those key forwards.
6 goals. Did they win? 6 goals is a lot.
I know, in a losing side too.
So Galbraith comes in. He's got 99 senior career goals. Make that 100. He gets his first of the afternoon. The D's are on the board. 1-2-8. Mitcham 2-1-13. We've played 15.5 minutes into this first quarter.
Yeah, go on, Em.
I was going to say, context for the listeners, I'm originally coached at North Ringwood, and Blake gave me a bit of rubbish leading into it, thinking that Montrose were going to win.
So we'll go down boundary side.
Just a weather update down here. The rain's definitely eased off. The wind has also died off as well. It didn't seem like there was much rain, and it's not really made much of an impact on skills.
So new ruckman in to the side, Sanderson. Tackle was late. That was by Crampton.
He's got a good jump on him, Sanderson.
Yeah. Maybe that's something Neil Winton has got. He knows a lot of tricks with his coaching, so there you go. The Tigers look with Sanderson with the tap. Eels gets the kick. Mark taken by Heap. Which the boys weren't happy with that one. So Heap will have this one. Heap on the outer side wing, gets it going for the Demons here. Whittle gets this one, he does. Copped a little one there. He goes for the short ball to Britton. Britton goes inside 50 for the Demons. Who's going to get this one? And of course, it's the Big O. Just grabs it with one hand. And that's a huge mark for the Demons.
And that's the problem. If he gets the front position, you're not getting anywhere near the ball when he takes a mark. He just puts up those long Inspector Gadget type arms of his, and even if they try and spoil him, he's still got enough upper body strength to be able to hold a grab like that.
It is indeed. Been a fine pick-up. Missed one before, but he can kick the Demons second and give the Demons the first lead of the game here. The Big O lines up, and that's going to the left, through for a behind. So 2 behinds for the Big O, and 3 behinds to Montrose. That means they scored a 1-3-9. Montrose to Mitcham 2-1-13. 17 and a bit minutes in to his first corner. The Bendigo Bank score.
What was he like as a set shot kicker at Brisbane?
Not that good.
He wasn't that great, was he?
It's a ruckman thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right, though. I mean, he gets front position. Good luck trying to stop him. And he's been involved early. Would have loved to kick a goal, but still certainly showing his impact. Out the back, almost a mark there from Townsend. Back at ground level, umpire says, give it to me. We'll get a ball up right in front of us.
So much so, Ryan, if he kicked those 2 goals, we'd probably be saying he's best on the ground at the moment.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes here. Up against Sanderson. Got the tap down. Clearance forward for the D's towards the half-forward flank. Just fell into the hands of Galbraith, who can run into a goal as that one sprays it all the way to the left. Just sneaks in for a behind, so 1-4-10. Montrose 2-1-13. Mitcham, missed opportunity there for the D's.
Yeah, not enough talk there to tell him he was clear.
So Glossop will get this one. Big fly was taken. Battle Leach tackles. And
I'm not going to lie, if you see Big O on one side of the ground, wouldn't you want to kick it to the other side of the ground?
It's a good point. You don't want to get anywhere near him.
Yeah. So Galbraith gets the hit out. Trying to get this one up his heap, but there's plenty of yellow and black jumpers. Britton gets smothered. Centre of the ground at Montrose. Smith gets tackled immediately. Plenty of yellow and black jumpers around this one. It's the hand pass there. That was by Rebecca. And tackled. It's going to be another ball up.
Watching the footage from the Baroni game a couple of weeks ago, the Hawks fell into that trap a lot as well, just kicking it in the direction of the Big O.
Which you don't want to do.
No.
It's fine coaching by M. It's great insight. Tackle done there on the broadcast wing.
It's years of experience, Blake.
Yes. Cherry gets a hand pass. Good inclusion for the Tigers. Smith gets it in forward.
And that was very silly by Baton Leach.
Yeah. So a free kick. And the Montrose faithful have woken up.
He's been a bit of a journeyman, Baton Leach. He started his career
yellow card,
and he's got a yellow card.
How's the atmosphere as well with the Montrose people in the balcony?
And also the Mitcham people too. They don't mind to say a few words as well.
20 minutes into the first. We've got 3 more quarters here.
The crowd has woken up down here at Montrose.
Well, it was silly. They were going inside 50 and he's
and also coming into the team as well.
Yeah.
So he's gone down on the umpires noted it.
Yeah.
So has he reported it?
I think so. They usually do this. I don't know. I've seen it. You've obviously seen more footy than I have, Brash. But
normally if it's I thought if it was a yellow card, you were just off on.
Yeah. I think they just write it down for the tape just in case. As play resumes, great mark taken by Danny Baglava. Great inclusion. It's hear the crowd. It's great to see. 2 passionate supporter bases right now. And Mark almost taken there. That was by Frith. Involved here is Olden. Gets tackled by 2 Demons. Deep inside the Mitcham forward arc. Time on is on at the moment. 21 minutes in on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Just on the top of the arc of Mitcham's forward arc down here. Watson. It's a touch. That was by Galbraith who got the kick. Got smothered. ABS handballs that one. Tackle was laid. It's going to be another ball up. So just on the broadcast end.
It's pretty tough, uncompromising football here at the moment. Neither side really unable to get an advantage.
One of the things Mitcham is doing really well at, they're very disciplined in their crumbing and their front and centre, and it's really making it hard for Montrose to move the ball.
So Galbraith goes towards the far side. The mark is taken here by Luke Jenkins. Got the handball off. That was Jordan Eales running past towards goal. Might just go all the way on the goal line. White almost trying to claim a mark there. He had a hand to it, but just a minor score. So 1-4 or 1-5. Yep. Now Montrose to 2-1. Let's go down the boundary.
Yeah, whenever the Big O floats down to the forward line to be a target, it's Flynn Maguire who has the unenviable task of trying to match up on him.
Well, stick with you, Jared. Did you see what the 25 was for then?
Yeah, just off the mark.
That's it, Blake.
Sorry, Jared.
No.
So Jack Baldwin marched up the field, centre half back here for the Tigers. He'll send a kick down the corridor. Great kick and spots up a teammate who takes the mark.
I'm claiming I taught him how to kick.
Goulding back to Baldwin. Off the right boot towards the top of the square. Might just go all the way. Touched on the last line of defence by Daniel Frith. And a minor score for the Tigers. 2-2-14 to 1-5-11 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as Lee crossed down to the boundary.
You know, the breeze is just starting to pick up and it nearly carried that one home. It just gusted at the right time, but not quite enough.
So Tennant will have this one for the Demons, of course, on the Box Hill Hawks list. He's looking for Harry Whittle. Watson scoops this one on the outer wing. And there's just one Demon by itself, but they're swarmed by a lot of Tigers. The pressure's been elite by the Tigers today. And that one might go out of bounds to the full. It is. Fraser Smith.
If you've got a big unit like Oscar McInerney down there, should you open up the forward line and just give him carte blanche and on a one-on-one?
Yeah. So you say, he's a tall man. So as Watson goes inside, he's going to fly. Whittle involved, and it's just keeps it in on the pocket. Mark taken, that was by Glossop. Been a real good servant for this club, Glossop.
Yeah,
He's been in a lot of premierships for Mitcham as the man Duvalin gets it forward and a free kick. It's going to go to Mitcham.
Well, no, it's Tennant's free kick.
Oh, they've caught, yep. So Porter gets it inside 50 and on his own there. That's a great mark. And it's taken in. I think that was Crampton again. He's having a super say in this game so far. Rain Brasher wasn't happy with that call.
No, I thought that was a free kick to Bo Tennant then, not the other way around.
So Crampton, I believe he's just on an angle here.
Let's see if Jared's win theory comes into play here.
So Crampton can line up, kick his second for the Tigers, and also their third, and that's going to drift. And it's goal. Gulwapole had a bit of work to do, but he's kicked it, and that's the Tigers' third of the day. They moved to 3-2-20 to Montrose 1-5-11, 25 minutes in on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. First corner.
Will this dictate the rest of the game? Will they get in their head? They're 1-5 at the moment. That could hold them back for the next couple of quarters, Blake.
They are known for Montrose for back kicking. If you've followed across Montrose, I'm sure perhaps has too, but they've had some performances where they've kicked themselves out of a lot of games.
It'll be interesting. Sorry, Brash.
Well, the last time they kicked 26-20, so yes, behinds are a...
Big O out of the middle once again. Got a fist to it, did Horsey. Now on the other side, he gets a handball forward. Cherry running onto this one. Collides this time with Eels, who gets the ball on the boot towards the boundary line. Keller chasing it across. And I will think with the second quarter will be interesting because if that wind does pick up a little bit, I think we'll get a good indicator at half time if the D's can get a couple going that way. Only the 9 points in it at the moment. The Tigers currently leading. Big O out of the ruck. Cherry slams it on the boot. Bounces towards the boundary line and over and out right in front of Campasars. Hit the first of the day. Let's go down the boundary.
I reckon the breeze only picked up during that passage of play from Jack Baldwin. It's not paid too much of a factor so far today.
Thanks there to Josh Ward alongside Jared Beanland on the boundary this afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM or our Facebook and YouTube streams. Porter, long kick towards goal. Is just through for a minor score, so that's the Tigers' third behind of the day. They moved to 3-3-21. Montrose 1-5-11. 26 and a half minutes gone first term. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Tennant will have this one. Doing the kicking duties for Montrose today on the outer wing. Looking for the big O. Big fly. Couldn't get it. Porter with this one. Goes inside 50. There's a few Tigers by themselves here. Cherry skipped this one up, tackled immediately, and it's going to be a ball up. So
been great to get him back, Blake, after an ACL injury missed last year in Premier Division.
I reckon if they had him, they would have won a few more games, I reckon. Mitcham, he's a superstar. Won a best on ground in the 23 grand final. Crampton, snap around the corner. And there's going to be two Demons there, but one Tiger. Hams gets this one. And looks for his teammate in Milton. Played, 3 senior games. Debuted against Norwood.
Looked all right so far.
Yeah. So there was a debutant last week. It's White. Could have marked that one, but finds Barnes. Mark taken. It's going to go to Townsend. Probably could have the tune here.
I think he'd be in range.
Yeah.
At this end of the ground.
Yeah. He doesn't back himself. Goes to Glossop, and that will do it for quarter time. Down here at Montrose Recreation Reserve here. It's the Demons 1-5-11 to Mitcham 3-3-21. Mitcham have a 10-point lead coming into quarter time. Goal kickers will go off with Crampton. He's got 2 with Perzes as well. He's got 1 for the Demons. Just a 1 goal kicker with Tyrant Galbraith just with 1. Straight after this, we'll get the interviews with one of our boundary reporters, and then after that, we'll get the second quarter action.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The one thing that puts a smile on my face is my kids.
The sun shining through the clouds even in winter absolutely puts the biggest smile on my face.
Seeing delicious food on the table ready for me when I get home.
One thing that always puts a smile on my face is seeing my family.
The thing that puts a smile on my face every time is really good music.
Just the simple pleasures in life.
Be remembered for the greatest moments in your life. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Montrose Recreation Reserve. Eastland match of the round, the D's and the Tigers. Quarter time here, Mitcham leading 3-3-21 to Montrose 1-5-11. Before we hear from one of the coaches at ground level, Blake, we're going to throw it to you because you got some scores around the grounds.
Yes.
Starting with Premier Division, Berwick big starters.
This is a big upset that's going at the moment down at Edward Flack Reserve. It's Berwick 32 to Blackburn 6. Vermont lead 15-14. Roval 17-12 over Doncaster East, and South Croydon 5 goals in a row, 31 to South Belgrave, 1 behind. First Division, Beaconsfield 39 to Norwood 14. North Ringwood 26 to Murrabluck 1. Boronia 26 to Park Orchards 18, and Wanty South 31 lead Bayswater 8. We go to Division 2. Mulgrave 29, Croydon 21, East Burwood 22 to Heathmont 9. Scoresby could be their first win, 11-8, early stages of course. Lilydale, Surrey Park, match of the round in Division 2, I reckon. Lilydale 19, Surrey Park 21. Templestowe 27 to the Waverley Blues 13. Division 3 now.
What's the Donvale score?
The Donvale score, 13-6 over Upper Gully. Ferntree Gully 26 lead Oakley District 13, Knox lead 28 to Whitehorse 15, Coldstream 31, the Basin 21. So a bit of a upset happening down there at Batteram Reserve. We've got no score between the Forest Hill, Bull and Templestowe. Doncaster 47, Nunawanning 18. The Panthers in Churnside 29 to Kilsyth 14, and Warrandyte lead 8-6 over Croydon North.
Thank you, Blake. As the reserves boys make their way out onto the balcony, which is nervous for you. I've already heard them calling out to you. As we're almost going to hear from one of those coaches in just a moment. There's the round of applause for the.
A well-loved member of Montrose Football Club, clearly.
Look at all the heads there on the screen just watching along. We're going to head down to the boundary just shortly to hear from one of the coaches. Now Blake,
now we know why he wanted to be the caller today.
Blake, you've had a good start, good call so far, but now the pressure is on with everyone down there, so you've got to keep this up as we get ready for this second quarter. Brash, Brash, and then we'll throw this to you first. The quarter itself, the Tigers probably were a bit more efficient when they did go forward.
Yeah,
in fact, sorry, we'll get to your point in just a moment because we've got one of the coaches down at ground level.
Yeah, alongside Brett Johnson, the Montrose senior coach. Brett, what's your initial assessment of the first quarter?
Okay, I thought we had our opportunities in the front half. We didn't quite capitalise. So going inside 50, we didn't quite hit our kicks. Obviously had a couple of missed shots on goal. A couple of things we need to tighten up around the ball. I thought we were a bit fumbly below our knees. And defensively too, we had the opportunity to sort of kill the ball a couple of times. We chose to mark and they got us out the back. So, yeah, it's just about, overall fundamentals of the game and making sure we execute.
But you also must be pleased getting equal territory with Mitcham as well in that quarter.
Yes, look, 6 scoring shots apiece, so it's quite even, I felt. They were just able to, I guess, be more efficient.
Thanks, Brett. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Thanks, Ross.
Thanks there to Josh Ward down with Brett Johnson, the senior coach of the Montrose Football Club. Brash, sorry, we cut you off just before your point.
Yeah, I was sort of alluding to where Brett Johnson was going there. I just thought the game was a bit scrappy and that Montrose really didn't take full toll of the opportunities that were presented to them. Mitcham looked a bit cleaner when they moved the ball into their forward 50, and it seems like that their forward line was a little bit more open than what Montrose's was. But that's credit to the Mitcham back 6 because they're not making it easy for Montrose or giving them a cheap disposal in their forward 50.
We will go to the boundary shortly to hear Jared Beanland after being at the Mitcham huddle, but we're ready to go here for the second quarter.
So Baglava just gets a two-handed hit out there. Bit of holding going on, so Mitcham will have this one. Alex Barton-Smith, real Mitcham man, knows a thing or two about fame finals and big games. Tigers can scoop this one up with Olden. Will he though? Smith grabs this one up. Good pick up from the basin and the outer wing, but the man to get that one is a Tiger. And that man is Riley Nicholas, the standing captain for Mitcham. Of course, there is a few Tigers out today.
Yeah, Jesse Wren.
Yeah, Josh May. Add to the list if you really want. Guy Laughlin.
Just seems a lot of clubs at the moment are bereft of their top end talent because of injury. It's not only Mitcham, but there's a lot of clubs that are in that boat at the moment.
Have a look at the full family in the back of the ute there.
It's country footy at its best, I reckon. Gets the hand pass. That was by Barton Smith. Gets tackled immediately, and it's going to be a ball up.
Something to say about the crowds at what you deem the country footy ground, South Belgrave, this one here. Very, very into their footy, very vocal, very fun games to be at.
Yes. Exactly. And this one might go out. No, it doesn't. The Tigers keep it in. Cherry. And then we'll go to Jared Beanland for boundary comments.
Thanks, Blake. Neil Winterton, very calm, very measured in his address to the players. Happy with the discipline of the back 6. Not really looking to change up too much other than looking for some short options as kicking into the wind if it does pick up. Very happy with the energy around the ball. Back to you guys.
Baglava with the hit out and the kick intercepted by Tennant. Just going to slow things down. Goes inside, centre of the ground. Not a great kick there. Plenty of Tigers around this one. Baldwin tackles. And it's going to be a ball up. The Tiger wanted a free kick there. His own teammate was tackling and he just fell down. So at the centre bounce. Scoreboard reads Montrose 11, Mitcham 21. If you just joined us, Radio Eastland and YouTube all around the globe. Picking this one up is Glossop. Goes the short one to Horsey. He's tackled by Heap. That's going to be holding the ball, so Heap will have this one.
He's lost his locks, Blake.
He has. They got him in. Ryan got him in on media day, and he does big fly by Galbraith, almost taken. But the Tigers get this one out, and this one's going to scoop away. Got to be excited then. It's almost good mark taken.
Get excited, Blake. That's what good commentators do.
That's what good footy's about too.
Yeah, he lost his locks. He cut him off, I think, last year, Brash. So the big O kicks it out. This ball might go through, and it's Rush. Well done there. That was by Flynn Maguire. He's having an okay season, I would say, Flynn Maguire for the Tigers.
And the last line of defence there. The current score now, Montrose 1-6-12. to Mitcham 3-3-21. Kick out of defence to the Tigers. Maguire goes long towards us. Might have just brought that down, did Jai Townsend. Or in fact, it was Gardle who had more of the football.
243rd game here for Brendan Gardle.
Last premiership player in 2013.
Long kick in towards the top of the square. There was a hot spot. Doing well there, Keller. Got through traffic. Barton Smith back to Keller. Just getting past the tackle. Cherry now. And Duvalin getting involved. They keep this alive and keep this moving down the wing. Out of this one, here's Keller. He's worked hard to get to this ball. Takes a bounce, can take another one. Could almost go all the way. Gets through one. Puts this towards goal. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of the D's, and Tennant takes the mark on the chest as he looks to find a teammate beside him. And they move this out of defence now through Watson. Watson looks to use the corridor because he has Smith there. Hayden Smith, as you mentioned, Blake, coming across from the basin last season, and he too had the long hair.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, everyone's decided to cut the locks off.
Different look for 2026 as there's Smith again through the middle in the direction of the McInerney, the big O, towards the boundary line and over and out. And that was probably better defence there from the Tigers against McInerney. As he goes up against Baglava, pushes him aside. Taj Heap involved. Out of defence of the Tigers. Duvalin. He sends his back on towards centre wing, picked off by Bo Tennant, who wants the handball. Off to a teammate in Smith. Smith links up and they go inside 50 once again. Same position. White! Big grab from the skipper.
The opening minutes of the second quarter sees both sides just opening up the game a little bit. There seems to be a bit more run in both sides. Chain of handballs, a lot of kicking to position, starting to look better too.
One of the big compliments to Mitcham from last quarter was their ability. Oh, here we go.
Wide around the corner has missed. Not a stranger to a big grab too.
Yes.
What I was going to say was Mitcham were really good structurally, and what I'm seeing from Montrose in this quarter is doing what Mitcham were doing in the last quarter, which was they've got Tennant playing as that loose, and they're not able to move the ball as freely into their forward line, which is why we're having more shots on goal with Montrose here.
So Baldwin, the kicking duties for the Tigers. Mark taken, that was by Maguire. Slow things down. Look for the kick, a good option. That's going to roll out, through for a boundary throw in.
That was a bit of a shank, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's been going like in the centre of the ground, but that one on the wing.
Well, we know he's a prodigious quick, Maguire.
Yeah. Big O gets the hit out. Baglava in this one. It's a team today.
Held his own, I reckon, Baglava at this particular stage of the contest.
Yep. Big O gets the hit out, goes to Eels. Eels goes inside 50 for the Demons. Galbraith will have this one, gets spoiled. Porter taps it, looking for Jenkins, and it's going to be holding the ball. It's going to go to the Tigers. Cherry will have this say. And that's not a great kick, but still there's a Tiger out there in Crandon who's having a great start, but he's tackled by Smith.
I think that was dropping the ball
and
too.
That one be a ball up. Centre of bounce of Montrose here. McInerney and Baglava will have this one. He just gets a double fist, gets it out. That's a high tackle. Cranton will have this one. Try and get the Tigers going inside 50. On the outer wing now of Montrose. Mark is taken. That was by Nathaniel Barnes, coming from Blackburn.
Had a really good season this year so far.
He's going to back himself here. So Nathaniel Barnes hasn't really had a big say. He's kicked 42 goals out of 60 games, so he might know a thing or two about how to kick goals. But he can put the Tigers up by 14 points with this say. He plays on here. He's got space, he's got time, and it's going to go out of bounds on the fall.
Unfortunately, no accuracy.
19s, boys. Look at this. That's their little pocket. This is their pocket they've got, all the 19s, boys.
Looks a bit sparse.
I can see my younger brother there in the picture.
Let's go down the boundary.
Brad Batten-Leach back on from the naughty corner.
had the yellow card earlier as Bo Tennant take the kick in the back pocket here for the D's. No goals kicked for either side in this second term. We played 8 minutes. It's still Mitcham leading by 8 points. Out of defence. The Big O, almost a juggling mark there. At ground level, the handball forward. Heap taps it in front of himself. Might be able to run onto it. Picked up cleanly. That was beautiful. Heap inside 50. Is looking for a few plays. Coming in from the side was White, who held the grab long enough to take the mark. And well done to Taj Heap to set that one up.
Yeah, that was good judgment by Taj Heap then.
Bailey White looking for goal number 18 for the season. He's first of the afternoon this time. Makes no mistake and brings the margin back to 2 points. That's their second. 2-7-19 to Mitcham 3-3-21.
There's 3 ways to play a game of footy. One is your short, sharp kick. Second is bombing the ball long down the line. And then when you're playing on a small ground like this one, condensing the ground so that everyone's within a kick, bombing it over the top and getting that run, which is just what happened in that setup there, relying on your tools to be able to take a mark. So very good by Montrose playing on their home ground here.
Yes, indeed. They've get one back to the Demons. First one for the quarter. Still the Tigers lead by 2 points. 9.5 minutes into this second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on Radio Eastern or around the globe on YouTube and Facebook. What can the Demons do? Tackle is laid. And it's on the cricket pitch down here. So McInerney just going to go with a ruckman. Unfortunately, didn't have the right position. And that's going to be a high tackle. It's going to go to Carter. Of course, one of the other Croydon boys coming to Montrose this year. Of course, Britton and Fraser Smith coming in. So Carter will get things going inside 50. And a mark is taken by Heap. So Taj Heap can line up and kick a goal.
They're really capitalising on their opportunities this quarter, Montrose. It's 2 scoring shots in, a minute and a half?
So Heap can line up.
Yeah, but they've been playing down the middle, which is exactly how you play this ground.
Directly in front here for Heap. Can line up and kick the Demons' third of the day. And he does so. He kicks it. And that's the Demons' third of the day. Moves the score to 3-7-25 to Mitcham 3-3-21. So Demons hit the lead. 2 goals in the quarter. 11 minutes in we'll have for this bounce. So good start early stages by Montrose.
Really good capitalising on their tools. Blake's friends giving a bit of rubbish, if you can all hear them on the broadcast.
That is going to be all afternoon. That's going to do my head in as the longer this game goes.
If they are recording us, that means I'm on the content too. Oh, that's unreal.
So
it's probably going to pop up on the WhatsApp chat.
There we go. We are going to be back in the middle. D's with the opening 2 goals of this second term to pinch back the lead. There in front by 4 points, 3-7-25 to 3-3-21. McInerney with the tap down. He'll get the clearance as well. As they move this now through Whittle, long into their attacking half. Sport from behind. White's around this one. Couldn't get boot to ball and they were able to spoil it across the line. The Tigers, that's 3-8-26 Montrose to 3-3-21. They're going to play this on straight away. Tennant with the grab. He'll send it in towards the corridor. Got players all by themselves. One of them is Riley Britton in range.
Could have gone to hands there.
So Britton gets past the man on the mark just in Crampton. Puts it up towards the top of the square. No mark taken. Still alive. 2 Tigers make the tackle. But we're right in front of the Montrose goals, looking for their third of the quarter. The Big O out of the ruck, and on the goal line was Keller. Plays this on straight away, moving this out of defence. Tennant out the back, used his body well, took the mark, looks for Hams. Has got Hams about 55 out from goal. He'll wheel around and put this back in the direction of McInerney. And he's got it. Juggling mark, called to play on, had to kick it. The kick was smothered. In fact,
free kick.
Giving away the free kick. So Glossop for the Tigers to take this.
So Glossop will have this one. This was a short one to Baldwin, centre of the Mitcham's defence here. Mark taken by Crampton. I think he's having a superb game. And it
White come off with the blood rule.
Yep.
The one thing that Montrose have done is they've really tightened up forward of centre and are making it extremely hard for Mitcham to get it in there in the second half of the ground to try and create even a forward 50 entry here.
Jared Beanland on the boundary.
Yeah, they're really capitalising on those tools defensively as well. They're cutting off all the exits. They've got McInerney on one wing and Tennant on the other, just being able to take those intercept marks.
A short chipping kick. Mark taken. That was by Nathaniel Barnes. Goes to Crampton. And Mark was not paid, but not intercepted either. Jenkins. Whittle gets the kick. Deep inside the forward 50. And standing alone is Baldwin being a goalkeeper. There's the short one. That was to Riley Nicholas. If you're just joining us, the standing captain for the Tigers. Baldwin just goes through a dribbler to Baton Leach. Got yellow carded before. Carter tackled by 2 Tigers. I'm pretty happy with how Will Keller's going.
Defensively,
I think he's having a really solid game for the Tigers today. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think he's been impressive.
Yep. McInerney gets it out. Carter. Eels. Eels goes inside the forward 50. Who's going to go there? Might be a free kick going to Baldwin. And the Tigers will look to rebound out of their defensive arc line.
Jack Baldwin, another one of the Mitcham defenders today who's had plenty of the football. He looks to switch on towards the far side. That's a great mark by Barnes. Has the handball in towards the middle of the ground as they go inside 50 for the first time in quite a while. Picked up nicely, almost copping one high. Got the handball away to Duvalin. Duvalin a high kick towards goal, but that is out of bounds on the full. And almost hitting one of the cars there of the 19s crew.
I'm worried about my car because that's where I parked my car.
Right, is that it right there, the white one there?
Yeah, just there.
Just out the back.
Yep.
There's Fraser Smith to take the kick in here for the D's in the back pocket.
They look real excited, your under-19 mob too, Blake.
Yep.
So, out of defence, the D's on the far side of this ground. Handball from McInerney. And a tackle applied on the far side.
Well, they had a big win this morning too.
Yeah, did see that.
Who's that? The Montrose under-19 side.
16 goals to 1.
There you go.
Doing well as Porter got his hands off. Chasing this one heap. Been very impressive this quarter. Going back, Keller. His handball smothered. Might still end up with the footy. High kick. Running to meet this one. That was Galbraith. Follows up with the tackle on that far side.
Mitcham 2's had a come from behind victory as well. They kicked 8 goals in a row and won the game there. So split at the moment.
One apiece coming into the senior battle today. Eels socket off the ground. Came back. Carter now. Long kick into their forward half. Spoiled from behind. Picked up cleanly by Heap. Got his handball off in time. Another tackle applied and Heap has won himself a free kick against Glossop. So,
a few Tigers aren't happy with
looked
that
like
one. Oh, yellow card
too. So they're not playing around today, the umpires, and that's Jackson Glossop.
So he's basically throwing him off for a
sling tackle. Yeah, I just saw the red card come out. He did show him the yellow one, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so he's bringing him down as well.
So Glossop off the ground. Heap, who's been probably the best player on the ground this quarter, I would say anyway. He'll have a chance to kick goal. Set up the last one. He's got one on the board as well.
Yeah, him and White have got down and dirty and into the contest, and they're creating a few issues for that back six of Mitcham at the moment. Just the run.
I'm just saying, it must be this to the right end where the goals have been kicked, because there hasn't been much, has there, from the other end?
I've always said that this bottom end is always a scoring end here, Blake.
It is. As Taj Heap looking for goal number 2.
No, he's had to kick a couple at this ground.
As Heap comes in on a bit of an angle, about 35 metres out. Heap's kicked on its way. It is through the middle. D's get another. It's their fourth of the day, 4:08:32. Mitcham 3:3:21. We've played almost 18 minutes into this second term.
Do you think that Mitcham have to start reverting back to an extra down back? So they've got an extra one at stoppage at the moment. The ball's been kicked over their head and they're not winning those one-on-one contests.
So you're saying rather than a back 6, maybe a back 8?
I'm saying a back 7. They put an extra up at stoppage and there's an extra from Montrose in their back line. So Mitcham they're not getting in front of their players. They can't intercept anything, which is why we're getting so many marks and frees.
Might have to, particularly in this next 10 minutes.
Just stem the flow a little bit. Yeah.
So Galbraith in the ruck for the Demons, and he gets the hit out. Tackled immediately by Smith.
Well, they've gone from 11 points up, Mitcham, to 11 points down 20 minutes into the second quarter.
Haven't kicked a goal this quarter yet, so...
Well, Montrose is playing that spare down in the back, so they haven't been able to move the ball as freely, which is why they haven't had as many scoring opportunities.
So Baklava gets the hit out. Tackled by Barton Smith.
And I think Rod Ali coming out for VFL this week is probably hurting that back half at the moment.
On travel with Collingwood today.
Yeah, first emergency.
Yep. How good's that, eh? Travelling with the team.
Give him a game, though.
I know, but still you get to travel. It's great. We'll go to boundary very shortly, just after this. As Baklava tries to grab it out the middle. And it's tackled by Smith again. We go boundary side quickly.
Rain is starting to come down now, guys. It's slight at the moment, but I'll keep you updated.
So the balcony's going to be flooded soon.
Oh.
He's wearing for a big second half.
Oh, God.
I'm not try hide. Smith involved here. Crampton. Plenty of Tigers around this one. So it will be an eligible mark if someone can get under this one. Tennant. Tries getting around a few Tigers. Milton to the team. For the 19s. White gives it off. Tansmat, he's got space, he's got time. If he can try get this one up. Tackled immediately. And that was by Riley Nicholas, the standing captain. Had time there, Tansmat.
Yeah, made a meal of it, didn't he?
Yeah. And to Keller, who I think is probably the Tigers' best at this point. I reckon.
He has played
this
well.
man too, Baldwin. So two of the Tigers' best on show there. And that's not a great kick. Carter goes inside. Britton by himself can try snap this around. He's got plenty of Tigers. It's going on. They're making an absolute meal, this Montrose Footy Club. Finds Tansmat, easy as you like, and takes a good grab. Geez, that was a tough minute to watch.
Gee, they made it real hard for themselves there. Britton should have kicked the goal.
Oh, yeah.
had all the numbers.
So Tansmat can put the Demons 17 points in front after he made a meal of that one a minute ago.
A goal is a goal at the end of the day. If you don't watch the broadcast, you're only ever going to see it on the stats.
So Tansmat lines up, kicks the Demons. Fifth of the day, they move to 5-8-38 to Mitcham 3-3-21. Big start for the Demons. They've kicked 3 goals, I believe. 4 actually, sorry. And they're looking pretty good at the moment.
Well, they were 1-5 at quarter time, Blake.
Yep.
So they've kicked 4-3 in this quarter. Mitcham a goal, scoreless here.
I feel like, though, if Mitcham can get the next goal here, they'll be happy coming into the halftime break. I feel like, because they're going to kick to the end at 3/4.
So back in the middle again, Porter with the clearance here for the Tigers. Bouncing towards the other side of the ground. Tennant, who's been good this quarter, picked it up cleanly and threw it on the left boot. Bouncing away from his intended target of Jenkins.
Admittedly, you don't want to be 4 goals down at half time, right? Even though you've got the scoring in, because you still need 5 kicks, right? And that's a good part of 15, 16 minutes of football to get back in the contest.
Yeah, particularly with some key outs of this side, it will make it tough. More younger Mitcham outfit today. Tap towards the boundary line. Porter. Across the line it goes. So
it almost is essential that at least Mitcham kick 1 goal in this quarter, at least.
To get one against the Tide, it's been a dominant term for the Demons. They lead 5-8-38 to 3-3-21. 22 and a half minutes gone, second term. Back into play. Rebecca wrapped up by 2 Ds. One of them, that man Taj Heap, who has been outstanding this quarter.
Best on ground so far, if we ever had a...
Potentially, I would say he's been the most influential. Here's Barton Smith, inside 50 for the Tigers, 1-on-1, giving away the free kick there. Mitcham against Fraser Smith. Holding free kick, and Smith in the last line of defence has Tennant in the pocket. These two have worked well together, and they'll share it around. Back to Smith. Right in front of Sanderson.
Well, Bo Tennant he's certainly upped his work rate in the second quarter as well. Got more involved.
Smith out of the back half. Getting a hand to it, Duvalin at the back. Smith caught one high. Taking the advantage is Baton Leach. Uses the corridor. Finds Watson. And Brad Watson just slowing things down a little bit.
Not by choice, I don't.
Just didn't have anything ahead. Rash as Sport from behind. Baglava. Got his handball off. Duvalin. Under a lot of pressure here. Tanzimat dived in first. And we're going to get another stoppage. Almost 24 minutes gone second term. 5-8 plays 3-3.
Mitcham are playing a lot of their game from stoppage out the back, and they're not able to do it this quarter. Montrose are doing a really good job in stoppage at the moment.
Smith gathers this one up. Goes to Carter with a dribbler. Gets it straight on the boot. Finds Collins. He's going to go to the corridor kick to Tennant. Tennant goes to the centre of the ground here. Goes to Eels on the pocket end of the 50 arc. Spoiled by Mitcham. Now it's a race. Who's going to get there first? And this one might just roll out, and it does.
This is what we're saying with Montrose holding their structure so much better this quarter. They had 3 players from the wing that they could have kicked to, which is just allowing the game to open up a little bit more and giving them more opportunities coming forward.
Blackburn have got it back to 8 points, 5-2 to 3-8.
There you go. Good to see. That's going to be a cracking game to see. I'm sure we'll hear plenty of scores at the halftime break as Carter. And that's going to be a free kick going to the Tigers. Calla will play on immediately. Finds ABS, Spartan Smith. He's having a good say in this game. Obviously a more experienced head at the Tigers with what they've got on the park today, so he'll have plenty of say. Frith gets a smothered kick. Hams gets the ball going. Who's going to fly? Whittle does. He does take a good mark. Just on the wing, outer side wing, down here at Montrose. 25 minutes into this second quarter. Approaching the halftime break. Goes deep inside the pocket. Baldwin spills it, and it's going to be a boundary throw-in. So, scoreboard reads Montrose 38, Mitcham 21, 25 and a half minutes into the second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard here. Montrose have kicked 4 goals. Mitcham haven't scored. One before half-time. Could be a little bit happier down there at the Mitcham Rooms. And that's going to be smothered out by Carter, and that's going to be through for a boundary throw-in. We haven't seen the Neil Winton special, and it's he's a great coach. Love what he does at Mitcham, and I'm sure he'll work his tricks around, I reckon. There's the 2 rucks. Oscar just gets it on the boot, but it's smothered immediately. It's going to be another boundary throw-in. So, don't know if the Demons are going to go safe here and wait for the siren.
No, kick ahead. They've been dominant. Got to keep going.
So the 2 rucks going at it. McInerney just grabs it out, gives it to Smith. Smith gets it on the boot, looking for Battle Leach here, but ABS. Barton Smith grabs it out. Smith, clearance kick, finds his teammate in Tanzimat. What's he got? There's a Tiger, but one-on-one. Galbraith could have it. He does!
Good mark.
Great mark taken by Galbraith. Kicked his 100th senior goal. Can line up and kick his 101st goal here.
He's got a little bit of he's got a little bit in him, Galbraith. There's something about this young man that that he could become a bit of a cult figure.
He is, Brash.
Speaking of cult figures, I reckon Blake's a cult figure here at Montrose.
So Galbraith can line up and kick the Demons 6 of the day here on the verge of half-time here for the Demons to get a 23-point lead. Galbraith does so! Demons have a 23-point lead heading into the halftime break. Great start here, 27 and a half minutes in, 6-8, 44 to Mitcham, 3-3, 21.
Just wonder, Ryan, I wonder if whether Neil Winterton might be hamstrung on the bench with certain type of players that he can rotate through this afternoon?
Well, certainly it is a bit of a challenge for them, and they're going to have to probably make a few changes at halftime. I'm not too sure what the best option is there. But obviously with the big eye, I think he's starting to make his impact as well in the middle, and they're starting to really dominate these clearances. Just feels like every contest there's more Montrose numbers than Mitcham. So a few things to think about for the Tigers going into half-time as we're 28 minutes into this second quarter. Cherry spun around, got the handball off just in time. Tigers will get an inside 50, but it's a 1-on-2. Chance now for the D's to mop this up, sock it off the ground and over the line, so boundary throw in.
Ryan, it's also just been a complete 180 of how the game is being set up and structured as well. So yeah, there's a personnel perspective, but it's just a very different game to the first quarter anyway.
Is that something Mitcham can go back to that they implemented in the first quarter? Or?
Oh, 100%.
And there is the siren. And half-time out here at Montrose Recreation Reserve. The D's have a 23-point lead, 6-8-44 to 3-3-21. We'll be back with the half-time crew to discuss the game and go local around the grounds with all your scores.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her two young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The superpower I'd love for a day is to fly.
If I could have a superpower for a day, it would be to time travel so I could go back and see how life was when my parents were young and stuff like that.
Be mind reading. It's always good to know what other people are thinking.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, their superpower is always providing compassionate care to families at their absolute time of need. Get to know the team at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Do you want to study at the #1 sports science school worldwide? Study sport at Deakin and benefit from the most advanced sports facilities available, from running tracks to biomechanics labs, and decked out gyms to a climate chamber. Deakin have what you need to graduate ahead of the pack. Discover endless opportunities in sports science by visiting deakin.edu.au/sport. Deakin, proud sponsors of the EFNL.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Montrose Recreation Reserve for the Eastland match of the round. Half-time out here in this huge Division 1 contest between the D's and the Tigers, and it is Montrose. After a 5-0 second quarter, they lead 6-8-44 to Mitcham 3-3-21. Josh Ward here alongside Brett Davidson and Matt Spider-Lee in the half-time show. Just going through the major goal kickers for Montrose. It's 2 goals to Tarcheap and 2 goals as well to Nathan Crampton. But Spider, your initial assessment of that first half, a pretty even first quarter before the D's were able to
to get on top in that second quarter and pile on the goals.
Yeah, look, I mean, I thought from the Montrose perspective, in the first term, they certainly had their chances to kick goals, but just it was a little bit messy in their forward half. I thought Mitcham defended quite well in that first term, and then when they went forward, they actually took their opportunity, and ended up having a lead of 10 points. I thought Crampton was very good. I just thought that their work in that first term, but then it flipped in the second term. It was Montrose's work around the ball, which was a lot better. When they went into their forward line, it went in a lot better. It was a little bit more organised. They gave their forwards a lot more separation and space to work into, and put the Mitcham defence under a lot more pressure. And they just couldn't clear the ball out of their back half. Look, Mitcham have got a little bit of work to do in the second half, but at the moment you've got to give credit to Montrose. They're really up the intensity in that second term, and were really dominant. I thought particularly around stoppage.
Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious that the message went out at quarter time from Brett Johnson to say we really need to make sure that every time they've got a ball, they get tackled, front on pressure the whole time, and he'd be really happy with the forward half pressure and the forward half tackles, because I think they gained a few free kicks from them. But overall, I'm actually going through the players, and I can't find too many players that I thought played that well for Mitcham.
Even
in the first half, for Montrose, I think McInerney's just been a star.
Oh, he's dominated.
He's just dominated, but I think he's got really good help from Galbraith.
Well, Galbraith's been terrific. Just his ability to compete and contest and bring ball to ground.
And he's been good up forward. He's been a target for him up forward as well, which has been good. So he's been good. I've really liked the work of the captain, Bailey White. Jordan Eales has been good in the middle. Yeah, Eales has been
good, yep.
I think Hayden Smith's done some good stuff for them. Carter, I thought, really stood up in the last 15 minutes of that quarter.
Yeah, Carter's starting to really dominate the game, I think. I think he's really stepped it up and really showing the quality player that he is.
I really thought in that quarter, apart from Will Keller, I thought Will Keller's had a pretty good half of football. I haven't seen too much from any. I think Danny Baglava started off okay, but once McInerney got on top, he's not. He hasn't done the pre-season. He hasn't been able to do a lot, so he hasn't kept up. But I haven't found Olden's been clamped pretty well.
Yeah, after quarter time. I mean, Barnes has been okay.
Yeah. I think he can improve, though.
But he can improve,
he's made a couple of mistakes, over that end. But I suppose making mistakes, trying to do something. Hudson Goulding did a lit's bit early, but's gone out of it in the midfield. But they've got a lot of players that are travelling at about that 60 to 70%.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in a game as important as this one, you need to be standing up and giving it a little bit more. I just don't think they've got it to run. They haven't had the clearance work. I thought they worked to McInerney really well in the first quarter.
They did,
And I think McInerney has picked it up and actually made sure that his work around the ground, he's putting the ball in the better positions so that either Montrose can either clear the ball or get a secondary clearance, and they've been doing that really well. But it's all been the forward pressure from the Montrose forwards that have done all the hard work that quarter, I thought.
And I think the one thing Brett Johnson will be looking for, a bit more composure inside forward 50. Yeah, there were times where they were composed, but there were still some messy passages of play leading to goals as well.
Yeah, just got to lift lower their eyes a little bit more and hit up a couple of targets. And I think that's the thing. Like, I think their ball of movement, with their speed, I think that's been okay. I think Mitcham, the hard part for them is just the way that they've moved the ball. It's just been very slow, pedestrian. They haven't really had the opportunity to get into any space. They've been really clamped down.
And they've kicked into the forward line to one-on-ones all day.
Yeah,
all day. They've just not had any clear leads. They've made no presence at all in that forward line, and they've defended well, Montrose.
They've almost been stagnant inside forward 50, Mitcham, so maybe that's something Winterton will address at the half-time break. We'll quickly go through some scores around the ground, starting at the Premier Division level, and it is a 15-point lead to Berwick, 39-24 out at Edwin Flack Reserve over Blackburn. East Ringwood lead by 3 points over Vermont, 32-29. Doncaster East lead over Roval by 11 points, 44-33. And South Croydon on track already to get their first win of the season. Lead South Belgrave 39-18 in that game out of Cheong Park, of course, Noble Park and Baldwin playing next week out of the Pat Wright Senior Oval on King's birthday. Division 1, Beaconsfield, a very handy buffer over Norwood, 74-28 at Home Park Reserve. North Ringwood 38 lead Mooroolbark 15. Boronia lead Park Orchards 41-32, and Montana South with a 55-point lead over Bayswater 78-23. So a big lead there for the Devils. In Division 2, Croydon lead over Mulgrave 51-36. East Burwood with a 33-point lead over Heathmont 44-11. Scoresby now lead over Ringwood 30-17. So they're again on track to get their first win in Division 2 for a long time. The Magpies, Surrey Park 34-point leaders over Lilydale 66-32, and Templestowe leads 79-31 over the Waverley Blues out of Templestowe Reserve. So somewhat of a return to form for the Dockers against the Waverley Blues. Division 3, Coldstream up by a point over the Basin 49-48. Knox lead by 21 points over the Whitehorse Pioneers 64-43. Furniture Gully 33, Trull, Oakley District 40 in that game out of Wally 2 Reserve. And a competitive contest out of Don Vale Reserve. It is the Vales leading 25-20 in that game.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one. But I did think that this was the big test for Don Vale. Upper Gully certainly up to the task so far in that contest.
Division 4, no update from Forest Hill, Bulleen, Templestowe. Doncaster lead 109 to Nunawading 25. Churnside Park lead 50-29 over Kilsyth, and Warrandyte lead 47-27 over Croydon North Emlock. Not too many surprises so far around the grounds.
Probably it's the Donny East one with Roval at the moment.
11 points in favour of Doncaster East. So.
And Blackburn coming back in the second term after a good start by Berwick, which we thought might be the case.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting, I think, about 3 out of 25.
I'm not too sure how well I'm going as well, but we're going to go to a break. Montrose back out onto Montrose Recreation Reserve. When we return, the call team will once again reassemble for the second half of action out here between the D's and the Tigers.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The one thing that puts a smile on my face is my kids.
The sun shining through the clouds even in winter absolutely puts the biggest smile on my face.
Seeing delicious food on the table ready for me when I get home.
One thing that always puts a smile on my face is seeing my family.
The thing that puts a smile on my face every time is really good music.
Just the simple pleasures in life.
Be remembered for the greatest moments in your life. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet. Pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website. yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Montrose Recreation Reserve. The D's currently lead 6-8-44. The Tigers 3-3-21 half time here. And we are all set to go for the second half in just a moment. Great to be with you on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM, as well as our Facebook and YouTube streams as we look ahead to this second half. Some scores around the grounds, I'm sure it would have been talked about at half time. Some interesting ones, of course, in Premier Division. South Croydon look just about set to win their first game of the season. They're well ahead of South Belgrave. Also looking through, Doncaster East lead Roval by 11 points. Vermont leading East Ringwood. Potential upset there, Brash, a 3-point lead. Oh, it's just updated. East Ringwood back in front. Never mind. Berwick lead Blackburn 39-24. Division 1, the Hawks currently leading the Sharks 41-32. Wani South pumping Bayswater. North Ringwood 38, Mirrabbuck 15. Beaconsfield handy lead over Norwood. In Division 2, Croydon have hit the lead over Mulgrave, 51-36. One to keep an eye on, the Rams, 44-11, Heathmont. Scoresby 30 to Ringwood 17. Surrey Park, 66 to Littledale 38. Templestowe 79 to the Waverley Blues 31.
I've got a few upsets go up there at the moment.
Oh, well, certainly even Coldstream currently lead by a point, but we're ready to go for this second half as we're underway. McInerney and Baglava in the middle. Cherry trying to burst through the tackle. Going to be an important start to this third term for the Tigers if they are to make their way back into this game.
Mate,
still only 23 points.
You want to get into that chocolate ripple slice, mate.
The hospitality was great at the half too, wasn't
it? It was magnificent.
As we go on towards the far side here, and Riley Britton to pick it up. Got time and space, got off to Tennant. Tennant goes back, and he finds a target in Watson.
It's good when you can go into a room at half time and talk to a legend of the competition too.
Who was that?
Nick Tennant.
Oh, there he goes. The D's high kick towards the pocket. McInerney, you can't stop him. Passed it off, and they've missed.
Should have taken it.
That's a gettable one. 6-9-45 to the 3-3-21 first minute of this third quarter.
Do you reckon he heard your comments about his inaccuracy and decided not to have any more shots on goal, Blake?
Who knows? Maybe he's got the old AirPods, maybe.
I don't think an AFL Premiership ruckman would probably
take advice from me. Yeah. Baldwin goes to the broadcast wing where we are at the moment. Frith gets this one, just shrugs off a few Tigers. Tanzmat got this one, goes inside the forward 50. Who's going to get there? But intercept mark taken. That was by Nicholas. He's having a solid game for the Tigers. Finds Cherry. Great inclusion it is. That's not a good start there by the Tiger champ.
Yeah, they're just lacking a little bit of judgment at the moment, Mitcham. They don't know, they're finding it hard to kick the ball to position.
Took a long time to get out of the halftime break as well. There's White, snaps around the corner. Could this be the start? It isn't. Plenty of Tigers around this one. Tansmat off the ground, and it's rushed through for the Tigers.
Do you think that comes down to just a younger group that are playing at the moment with all the injuries that they have?
I think the thing is, though, when you've got young blokes when they're starting to run, it makes it hard for the established players to get a foothold in the door because the confidence is up.
So mark taken, that was by Duvalin.
I mean, there's a lot of experience out there for Mitcham, but they don't, at the moment, they don't have enough playmakers on the ground.
Big fly taken, that was by Townsend. Frith will gather this one, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
They're really missing Jesse Uren. Not only his leadership, but the way that he he's great at controlling tempo, Jesse Uren, because he can play multiple positions. They just don't have anyone of that ilk at the moment.
So it's a leadership thing?
Yeah, and that's only because of injury. It's not because of anything else.
Yeah.
Back into play again, and we'll cross down to the boundary for the first time in this second half. Josh Ward.
Would you be tempted to throw Cam Olden in the midfield? Because I'm pretty sure he has played midfield at the VFL level before.
Well, I think they're going to try something, Josh. I agree with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that as Porter looks to hit up at target. And Marrow in front position has won himself a free kick. Looked a little sore off the hand there.
I think Mitcham are lucky here, but is it also that they just don't have any key forward targets that are taking big marks, so they can't capitalise?
Certainly without Mitch Johnson this year makes it a little bit more difficult out for the season as Marrow comes in and has put it through. So Tigers hit first in this second half, 4-3-27 to 6-10-46.
And they needed to.
Well, I just think the height is probably the height at both ends. You take out Tom Lovell, you take out Rod Ali as your latest two. That limits their options a bit.
Well, maybe the weather is going to help him out a little bit. It's going to get pretty mucky and not good football if it continues like this.
It makes it hard to replace probably your top 4 to 6 rated players, right? With players coming up from your list. It makes it. You can't replace that experience or that talent.
So the Big O and Baglava. Baglava gets the hit out. In the middle there, that was by Goulding.
It's probably first ruck tap he's lost as well.
We might go boundary side. I think we heard a buzzer there.
Yeah, here we go. Our greatest fears have come to pass. It's starting to rain in earnest now.
Wardy with the umbrella. We're on here.
Jeez. As Carter gets a clearance kick. First Tiger will be Duvalin. Tigers looking to go inside 50. Mark taken.
Well, that was a kick and hope.
They go inside 50. Who's going to get this one? Marrow's involved. Snap around the corner. That was by Olden. And it's going to be through for a behind. So Mitcham looking to get on the scoreboard early. 4-4-28 Mitcham. Montrose 6-10-46. 5 minutes into this third quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Montrose not afraid to flood back at the moment. They can afford to do so, which means that Mitcham aren't going to get any clear shots on goal either. Be very scrappy for him.
Rain's certainly starting to come a little bit harder as Hams long kick out of defence. He's looking for McInerney. The Tanzamat kick was smothered. Affected now. Carter got it off to the Big O, who's in a lot of trouble. That's holding the ball. I don't know if he got rid of it properly. Porter.
Yeah, I think he's very lucky there not to be penalised.
He was swamped by 3 Tigers on that occasion. It's currently a 3-goal lead to the D's. Tigers with the only goal in this opening 5 minutes of the third term. Watson looking to gain some territory. Socket off the ground, that time by Curtis. In the middle of the ground here, chance for the Tigers through Barnes. Barnes just gets it inside 50, overdoes Watson, picked off by Bazaars, got the handball away in time. Tennant was good in defence, and he clears this one out, knows how important the territory will be here. Barnes again, this time wrapped up by 2 Ds, and decision will be a ball up on the far side. 6.5 minutes into this third term, 6-10 plays 4-4, 3 goals in it.
6.5 minutes in. Mitcham kicked the only goal this quarter. Didn't kick a goal in that second quarter. So Britton gets a soccer kick. It's going to race out through for a boundary throwing.
Big upset brewing at Heathmont this afternoon. East Burwood 6-8-44 leading Heathmont 1-5-11.
At H.E. Parker?
I think it's a bit of 50-50 that one, but yeah, say it's in the same boat, yeah. Good call there, Brash. As McInerney gets the clearance kick out of the ruck. And smothered ball, Porter finds Crampton. He's having a solid game. I think he's the Tigers' best. And finds White with a great mark. Centre of the 50 arc down here. Will be kicking around, I would say, 35 metres. It's not the 42.4 or whatever it is down at Quamby, so that's definitely for sure.
42.3, thank you.
I don't think even the arcs are even 50 metres down here at Montrose.
It almost feels like the ground is not even 50 metres here.
Actually, this is actually an important kick here because of the fact, because of the weather change, and it makes it another 6 points that Mitcham may have to possibly get back.
So Bailey White for his second of the day. Kick is straight. Goal umpire doesn't move. And the Demons get one there. 7-10-52 to Mitcham 4-4-28. 8 minutes in on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, sort of a make or break goal for them too. If they don't get the next one in the next couple of minutes, they're going to be really struggling. I am liking Baglava in the ruck. There are times where he's been really heavily outbodied, but he's also halving some of these contests too for McInerney. And so if he can get a hold of that, they may have an opportunity here.
Yeah, I agree. I've liked him. First senior game this season after coming back from injury. Played the last 2 games in the reserves. Got hands to it, but it's the D's to get the clearance forward. Deep into the direction of White. Came off hands. Tigers defenders swap to this one as we'll get a ball up.
Bit rough coming back in and playing against neighbour Premiership Ruckman.
Yeah, it's probably not your preferred opponent coming back from injury. Over the top, Galbraith gets the tap down. White looking for 2 in a minute. Almost the second attempt. Kept it alive. Nicholas. We'll get another ball up. Same position inside Montrose's forward 50. 7-10 plays 4-4. 9 minutes into this third term. Thanks for joining us on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM. Our Facebook and YouTube streams.
And Fots has arrived. The lights are on.
I think Murray, the equipment stalwart, did that one.
Well, Baglava tried to clear it out. Still going nowhere.
Club legend he is, Murray.
Shout out to Murray.
Yep, Muzz.
Muzz.
Yep.
Here today.
Yeah, I think so. He would be.
Oh, Baglava out of mid-air just clears this out of their defensive half the ground. Baden Leach is one of many Ds around this ball. Tennant's there as well. So is Bowden. Barton Smith kicks it into a bit of space. Almost just overdoing their Frith and sock it off the ground. Just edging closer towards the Tigers, attacking half the ground. Olden.
Do you think it's at a point where Mitcham just have to start taking territory to try and keep the ball or get the ball into the forward line? They've got really no other choice because they're not doing well from a setup perspective.
They're going from the outer wing, not where we are on our broadcast wing. So.
Barton Smith tracking this one. And we're going to get another stoppage, about 60 out from home for the Tigers goals.
If Montrose are getting the first touch off McInerney's hit out, that makes it extremely hard for Mitcham.
So Smith will be getting this one, tackled immediately by Crampton.
Also, just a quick change on the way that they're set up defensively. They've now got 2 back, so it's an 8v6. So maybe that's the way that they're going. The ball's in there close to their forward 50, and they're trying to lock it in that way.
QM. That's why we get the real coaches involved.
Is that a compliment, Blake?
It is.
Oh, I'll take that. Any day of the week, thank you.
Yeah. As we get the big O, goes to Carter. Carter gets it on the boots. Big fly. Taken, that was by Flynn Maguire. Galbraith trying to sweep this one up. Same with Heap. Plenty of Tigers. They're trying to scoop this one up would be Flynn Rebecca. Gets the hand pass. And White will just get this one out. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
They can't get any continuity going, Mitcham. They get a possession and they don't hit a target on the first target, so they can't create any run moving the ball into their forward 50.
Well, they're not spreading, so that's why.
So as Britton gets this one. He does so. Tackled immediately by 2 Tigers.
So if you're going to play football like this, you need to contest heavily in the contest, spread out and use that run, and they're not able to do that at the moment.
So McInerney just gets off Baglava, and this one might roll out as well. But no, the Tigers keep it in on the outer wing. Trying to pick this one up would be Perzes. Kicked a goal already today. 1-on-1, Fraser Smith. But the Tiger gets there. That was by Townsend. Fraser Smith will get this one. Cleans it up. Well done. Bowden gets the clearance kick. White involved here. Centre of the ground at Montrose. Snap kick there by the Tigers. Trying to get this one up will be Nathaniel Barnes. Gets it on the boot immediately. Who's going to get up this one? Plenty of Tigers around this one. Skipping it up there. That was by Perzes. Tackled immediately by Frith.
Well done to keep the ball in their forward half at the moment, Mitcham. That's a win. If they can get 1 or 2 goals from it, they'll be well in for contesting the rest of the game.
Lava gets a touch kick. Kicked there. That was by Frith. Keller is probably been the Tigers' best, I would say. Barton Smith with a snapping kick. Frith again. Mark taken by Keller. He's going to back himself here, Keller.
Oh, why not?
It's downhill.
Yep.
You get an extra couple of metres from that one.
Keller.
Had a good game for Mitcham, Keller.
Yep, I think it's out of Keller and Crampton for the Tigers' best. That's what I would say. So Keller can line up and kick the Tigers' 5th of the day. 13 minutes into this third quarter, the premiership quarter, as some people would like to say. So Will Keller lines up. He's probably, I would say, 60 metres right now. He lines up, and it's going to drift to the right, through from behind.
Fair kick, though.
Yeah. Top of the cricket pitch, I would say about 60 metres on this ground here.
So
Oh, no, go.
Is that about to say you played cricket here? Or?
I've scored runs on this ground.
Yeah, I'll play cricket here for a year.
4-5-29 Mitcham, 7-10-52 Montrose, 13, almost 14 minutes gone in this third term.
I reckon if I bowled to Blake in a game of cricket, I'd get him middle stump.
Out of defence here for the D's. Mark was dropped by Gelthbraith, caught one high. And a 25 metre penalty against Keller. They'll be marched up the field here.
Actually, Blake would want to run early and I'd get him out for Diamond.
Pass it off to the runner coming past.
Moving on.
Sending this inside 50. Slipped through hands. Out the back was Baldwin. Cleared this one through the middle. Crampton dodging through traffic. Got it off to Barton Smith. Barton Smith towards centre half forward. And it's picked off here by the D's. We look to play on straight away towards us on the broadcast side of the ground. And out of bounds it goes.
It's the unfortunate reality of if you're pumping all your players back, which they are now this quarter, they've got no one to pass to. A 1-on-3 is just not viable at the moment for Mitcham. They need to be clear and they need to be moving forward a bit more.
This was never going to work out. So boundary throw-in on the broadcast side right in front of us here. Thanks for joining us, Radio Eastern, Facebook and YouTube for today's Eastland match of the round. Olden breaking through traffic. Finds Barnes. Long way out from home.
He's in the middle now, Olden.
Barnes inside 50. No mark taken. Porter. Right boot has missed a gettable shot. So they've had they've certainly had some chances this quarter. 4-6-30 to 7-10-52. 22 points, 15 and a half minutes gone in this third term.
Wayne Brasher.
Just some quick scores. Berwick by 22. Doncaster East by 15. East Ringwood by 16. And South Croydon by 28.
You see the Mitcham historian behind the goals there, Gary Wathan.
There you go. So Bo Tennant will have this one on the broadcast wing when we get a good spot. Big fire by Baldwin, but it's going to be in the back. The big O will have this one. McInerney will go boundary side.
Oh, he's not happy.
Yeah, that was called holding, guys.
Holding?
I don't know.
From Baldwin or from another player?
No, it was a 2-on-1. It was the other player. I don't know who it was, but Baldwin did everything right.
See, I like those pastel sort of things on your microphones. Pastel covers, guys, yellow and orange.
There you go, as we get it out here.
Credit to Lee.
Throw it.
Looks like a lollipop.
It really brings out your personality, you know.
Just so I can tell them apart when I'm looking.
Well done to LKLM Media.
Yep.
Terrific job, as always. Megan Green, 2 games every Saturday. Best in the business, I would say. The 2 rucks. So McInerney gets the hit out. Porter gets a tackle, but he's immediately tackled by Watson, and that's going to be a boundary throw in.
Well, at the moment, Montrose are doing enough in this quarter to make sure that Mitcham can't get on a scoring run. And
they've neutralised it.
They've neutralised it very well, especially now that we're just about ready to hit junk time.
Britton from a clearance kick. Where's this one going to go? Whittle! Big mark. And he handballs to Galbraith, stuffs around the corner, and that is a goal. And the Demons kicking another one there. Geez, they're looking pretty good at the moment. 8-10-58 to Mitcham, 4-6-30. 7.5 minutes into this, a third quarter, the premiership quarter.
Fell asleep there, Mitcham, because that would have been a difficult shot for Whittle.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy with that, I don't think,
No.
looking back at
Even though it looked like it, Galbraith made it look harder than what it really was, but that was because Mitcham just reacted too late.
That's what happens when you don't stay in front of your opposition.
So
By the by.
Ball up back in the middle again. This time won by the Tigers. Hams looking to get the clearance forward. Crampton. I don't know what this is that's going on in the background. Is kick forward, this time by Smith. Barton Smith involved. Olden holding free kick here, going the way of the Tigers.
Jeez, I didn't know I get standing ovations these days.
Olden inside 50 here for Mitcham. There's been a free kick.
Popular
and
man.
The mark was taken by Duvalin either way.
Needs to kick it. He has to kick it, Duvalin.
You are the mayor of Montrose, aren't you, Blake?
Some will say. I disagree.
So, back to the game.
I've never heard you be so humble, Blake.
Duvalin.
Wait until tonight.
It is a must kick.
It's a note. This is a must goal.
They've had some opportunities this quarter. Can Josh Duvalin bring the margin back? He has put it through.
Is that what they need?
They do. It gets it back to 22 points. They do need to certainly get a couple in a row going into the final break, but still alive. 5-6-36 Mitcham, 8-10-58 Montrose, 19 minutes gone third term.
They want another couple, Ryan. Get it back to about 10
It's
points.
the consecutive goals that they do need, so...
And they've got to be seen, Mitcham, here to try. They've got to at least try and put some perceived pressure on Montrose. Give them something to think about, especially going into the last quarter.
So McInerney, who was a hard judge, who got the hit out there. Clemens kicked by the Big O.
Good contest work.
Tigers will try to scoop this one up, and it's a high slip sort of catch in the air.
Ooh, Montrose have an extra in their forward line.
There we go. Free kick going to Montrose. Bailey White will have this one.
Mitcham very quick to get back there, very lucky.
So White goes inside 50. The Big O's down there with just a one-hand scooper. Trying to get this one out is Whittle! And he gets that one, 9-10-64 to Mitcham, 5-6-36. 20 minutes in on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. That is your goal of the day contender right there, I would say.
Well, he has done some nice things, Whittle, in the forward 50 this afternoon. I think, and he's probably taken, that's probably been his hardest chance this afternoon. He's taken it, and look, he's been very lively in the forward 50.
He's had a slow start to the year, but I would say right now, judging from what I'm seeing up close, I think this is one of his better games this year. He's had a slow start, and this could be a builder for him because he was pretty good last year for Montrose, and hopefully this could be the confidence booster that he is. So the two rucks going at it. McInerney just grabs it out of the ruck, just gets it on the boot immediately, intercepted by Keller. He's having a solid game as we touched on before. Smith involved, gets a great mark. He's probably up there as well for the Demons today.
Yeah, very reliable.
Hasn't done much wrong.
Loves the radio game. He
Does
had an
he?
interview with Josh Ward. He probably knows where I'm going with that. Came in the van as well, if you remember. Mark taken by White.
No chance I'm interviewing him after this game.
We all know who you're interviewing, Josh. As Whitey gets smothered, that was by Bailey White. Socket ball in the broadcast end. Baldwin gets the hand pass. Porter. This is better ball movement by the Tigers. They go inside the forward 50. Mark taken.
This is the run that they're really good at. We watched them first round against Baronia, and some of the passages of play that they had were exactly what they were doing just now. They just need a little bit more of that.
So Townsend will have this say.
He hasn't been very accurate today, so a bit of pressure on him mentally to really snag this one.
So this will be a 22-point margin if he can nail this one through for the Tigers. So Townsend will have this one. And the goal umpire doesn't move, and the Tigers answer back with one here.
He'd be a very happy man with that one.
9-10-64 to Mitcham, 6-6-42.
Whilst you're happy with goal for goal, Mitcham need repeat goals, not...
Yeah. And they just... I look at this midfield group, and without a couple of players, Montrose stand out, particularly with McInerney.
Yeah.
I know he's not out there at the moment for this centre bounce, but the guys at the moment, Smith's been good, Carter's been good, so have Watson, Heap. They've all played really, really well and have probably owned the game in the middle after quarter time. So 9-10-64 plays 6-6-42. Back to that 22-point margin. It's been goal for goal in this third term. 22 coming up to 23 minutes gone.
Do you reckon Baglava will capitalise on Big O not being there?
Well, he has to.
Well, it's potentially their opportunity. No one really gets a tap out, and I think Baglava's gone over the line again, which has happened twice.
Last ball up, McInerney did that and didn't get called.
Here's Heap off the right boot. Heap's got 3. And he's lighting it up at the moment. Montrose have had all the answers so far. They moved to 10-10-70 to 6-6-42.
Well, I'll lead this question to Brash. You know, you asked Mitcham repeat goals, and it's just not happening for him, unfortunately.
It's not, and the fact that Montrose have been able to kick goals at this part of the ground that no one really had any impact in the first half.
Yep. Geez, if this is a good start here. Even contest, I'd say. A couple goals from each end here. Carter trying to get this one in. Whittle gets a hand pass to Britton. Britton takes on a couple Tigers. Gets an inside for 50 to Big O. Couldn't get there. Intercept mark taken by the Tigers. Good ball movement here. Going to go down to the broadcast there, but Eels will snap this one up.
I think the thing that's really hurting Mitcham, and it has for most of the afternoon, is their turnovers.
So Eels goes to short option to Smith on the broadcast end where we are. We get a good look at where we are. Tremendous views here on the balcony, looking at the mount down in on view. It's great to see. Spoiled there. Britton trying to scoop this one up. First to get there, they will be the Tigers and Flynn Maguire. And it's going to be a ball up on the pocket.
And for all the good ball movement that Mitcham have had out of their back 50, they just don't have anywhere to channel because they don't have a centre half forward to play through. It's almost like kicking ope.
McInerney just gets it out of the ruck. And it's going to be another ball up. What's on the pocket down here? 25 minutes into this third quarter. Montrose leading by 28 points. Controlling the game, I would say, right from quarter time. Good mark taken by Eels. Former Vermont man. Couldn't get opportunities at Vermont, so coming to Montrose. Looking for the Big O. Couldn't mark that one, spoiled by a few Tigers. Porter gets tackled immediately, and that will be holding the ball. Pushing the back. And the faithful let them know with that one, as Porter will have this one.
Well, they got up and about for that one as Porter finds a target in Goulding.
As soon as you tackle someone and push them forward in a forward motion, the umpires are going to go against you.
I thought he was stiff though. I did think that was holding the ball. It was Crampton in the middle for the Tigers. A lot of Ds around this contest as well.
Just not able to pick the ball, do clean ground balls. It's really hurting them, Mitcham.
And that ground with that little bit of range just made it a little bit more sticky.
Yeah, it has been a pretty even quarter.
Baglava getting frustrated, which is probably not going to help the cause either.
There's Baglava and Galbraith, who's been good today. Cherry wraps up Hams, and we'll do it all again in the middle. Approaching three-quarter time here, 26.5 minutes gone. Currently a 28-point lead to the Ds. Baglava with the tap down. Cherry, Porter, Cherry, wrapped up by Galbraith. Once again, we'll get another stoppage, another ball up.
Blackburn have got it back to 10 points, 53-43.
They in front or Berwick still in front?
Berwick.
Oh, sorry.
Tap down by Galbraith. I think the Ds will be pretty happy, pretty comfortable going in with a 28-point lead at the three-quarter time break. They wouldn't want to concede one just to maintain control, as we're about 60 out from the Tigers' goals.
Definitely red time, I would say, right now. 26 minutes in. Don't think there's been many stoppages or delay of play, so I think we're looking at a 28-minute quarter.
Baglava out of the ruck, chasing this one. That was Frith at front position. Oldham, plenty of D's numbers around this. Frith, Oldham. We'll get a ball up.
Doncaster East are up by 19 over Roval at home.
So the real Donny East are back.
East Ringwood now 22 points up over Vermont at Vermont.
So the Tigers deep inside their attacking half. Frith with the clearing kick out of defence towards the boundary line. Kept alive by Heap. And we will get a boundary throw-in. Almost 28 minutes gone, third term.
And South Belgrave making a slight comeback. They're 20 points now behind South Croydon, 46 to 26, Ryan.
If they don't win that game, South Croydon, that's a disaster.
Yep. And up we do it. 3/4 time down here at Montrose Recreation Reserve. It's the Demons 10-10-70 to Mitcham 6-6-42. Third quarter action done and dusted. And we've got the goal kickers. Taj Heap, what a performance he's having. 3 goals for the Demons. The only multiple goal kicker with Tensmat with 1, and Galbraith with 1, and White with 1. I think I'm missing a few others as well. Townsend's got 1 for the Tigers with Perzes, DeValin, and Murray with 1, and Crampton has 2. This is the 3/4 time break, and then straight after this we'll be back with the 4th quarter.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The superpower I'd love for a day is to fly.
If I could have a superpower for a day, it would be to time travel so I could go back and see how life was when my parents were young and stuff like that.
Be mind reading. It's always good to know what other people are thinking.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, their superpower is always providing compassionate care to families at their absolute time of need. Get to know the team at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Montrose Recreation Reserve. 3/4 time here. The D's currently leading 10-10-70 to Mitcham 6-6-42. We're going to hear from, I believe, Neil Winterton at 3/4 time, but Blake's got some scores around the ground starting in Premier Division.
Yes, Brash alluded to it. Blackburn clawing their way back to this game, but Berwick still lead by 10 points, 53-43. East Ringwood, they're putting a little bit of stamping authority at the moment over Vermont, 53-31. Close game down there, but Doncaster East, 57 to Ravel 38. South Croydon got a 20-point lead over South Belgrave, 46
No wonder
to 26.
why we haven't heard from Radio Ray.
Yeah, that's
They've
why.
kicked 4-14.
Yeah.
Ravel.
Beaconsfield at home here, 118-48. Mooroolbark 39, North Ringwood 62. Park Orchards are coming back 75-52. Wanning South clear victors over here, 120 to Bayswater 30, so a 90-point lead out there for the Devils. Croydon, now this is a big story here. Croydon 79, Mulgrave 49. East Burwood 76-29, probably their best performance. Scoresby 3-point lead over Ringwood, could be their first win. Surrey Park dominant over here over Lillardale 80-39. Some of their fellow leaders in Templestowe 95 to Waverley Blues 37. We go to Division 3 now. A couple upsets here. The Basin 75, Coltrane 63, Knox 101 to Whitehall 70. Oakley District could be getting their first win today, ladies and gentlemen. 55, Oakley, Ferntree Gully 35, and Upper Gully lead Domvale 30-27. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah, we haven't had a decent score for them for a while.
And the Sharks, we're going to go quickly down boundary side. I think Jared Beanland is with Neil Winterton.
Thank you very much, Blake. Yes, I've got the Mitcham coach, Neil Winterton. Mate, stating the obvious maybe, but the first couple of goals are very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, when you're behind by, I think it's 28 at the moment, we do need to get that first some scoreboard pressure on them. So, yeah, it's crucial that we start well this quarter.
And any way that you need to change up the way you're playing from that third quarter, or is it just sort of more of the same lockdown defensively?
Yeah, we conceded some really easy goals. We got the margin of 22 points a couple of times and then just conceded an easy one. So we can't afford to do that this quarter.
Good luck.
Thanks there to Neil Winton with Jared Beanland. Josh Ward was down at the Montrose huddle.
Yeah, and Brett Johnson was very pleased with that quarter. They're looking to remain disciplined around the stoppage since the Tigers haven't changed too much around the ball. When it's heading into defence, they look to kill the high ball and just spoil it out of bounds and continue to pile on the live play pressure as well and look to be a bit more efficient going inside forward 50, change some angles.
So third quarter action down here.
You mean final?
Fourth quarter, sorry. As Porter gets a smother. If you just joined us at the moment, Montrose lead by 28 points. Heading into the final quarter on the Eastland Match of the Round on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch that or listen live on your car coming home around the grounds on Radio Eastern 98.1. Mark taken by Heap. He's been enormous. Probably Montrose's, I'd say, best player today. I hope Josh Ward might get him for an interview as he goes inside 50. Big fly by White, couldn't get that one. Bannon Leach could try to skip this one up, but Barton Smith says hello, knocks him down a little bit.
What are you talking about, Blake, looking to get Oscar McInerney for an interview? Oh, there's plenty of others around for the days.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll grab him and if someone that's had complete control.
Got another quarter to go, got to win first.
As the two rucks going at it, but Glover and McInerney going at it. McInerney gets a hit out to Carter. Carter gets a smothering sort of drop kick. Baldwin on the outer wing. This ball's going to go to the way of Tennant and Bow. Kick off the ground. That was by Nathaniel Barnes. Plenty of Tigers around this one. And first to get there will be Golding. And Golding kicks the first gun for the Tigers and just hope a little bit for the Tigers. 7-6-48 to Montrose 10-10-70. 1.5 minutes into this final quarter.
Jared on the boundary.
Yeah, just on one of those efforts in the back line there. It was Baton Leach who was the recipient of it. I can't remember who the Mitcham player was, but they killed the ball and he got a round of applause from his teammates. Barton Smith, thank you. He got a round of applause from his teammates. So they're really just trying to will themselves back into the game, bring the energy, and they were able to convert.
So it's back to that 22-point margin, which, as Neil mentioned, got to a couple times in that quarter. The problem has been getting consecutive goals. This is their moment back in the middle, but Montrose have dominated the centre clearances this afternoon. So let's see what they can do here, the Tigers. If they can get a second one, suddenly they might enter with a bit more confidence, but Montrose will want to look to shut that down straight away. Big O to Watson, and there is the centre clearance once again for the D's. Coming in and cleaning up a teammate there. The ball goes forward towards the top of the goal square. Riley Nicholas happy to spoil that across the line, and Flynn Maguire will take the kick in here for Mitcham. 10-11-71 Montrose. 7-6-48 the Tigers. Out of defence towards the far side of the ground. Tennant chasing this one first, got a hand to it. Ball stolen away as they both cross the line.
South Belgrave is quietly slipping back into this contest. They're only down by 13 points. 46-33.
Jeez, this would be a disaster for South Gordon.
That is, if they don't win that. Ball back into play. McInerney with the punch. Olden chasing this one. Cop one high, potentially, or could have been holding the ball. Heap comes through the pack. looking for goal number 4 towards the top of the square. Still alive, kept in play. Tanzimat off the left. Bouncing ball, minor score.
That was really good play by Galbraith there. Created an opportunity basically out of nothing then.
Baldwin immediately kicks it out for the Tigers. They need to go do the Tigers. Nathaniel Barnes will have to say. We'll go to boundary side very shortly after this. Hams around this one, scooped up by Carter. Tackled immediately was by Carter. We'll go boundary side.
Guys, Mason Porter was assisted off the ground by the trainers. It seems like he might have had a cut above his eye, so he might be undergoing concussion protocols, if I were to guess.
So the Tigers could be down an interchange there, so they'll be down to 3 players on the bench. Tackles laid by Hams and a ball up. They don't need that. Not another injury, especially Mason Porter. He's a
good young kid.
Yep. He's back in there. He just gets it out of the ruck. Getting first place with Bailey White. Tackled immediately was by Alex Barton-Smith, and that's holding the ball.
No, I think I might have caught a ball up there. Absolutely no chance. As soon as he touched it, he was gone.
Olden, been a great pickup for the Tigers this year. Up there in the goal conversation. Skipping this one up will be Tennant. Gets the hand pass to Baton Leach. Baton Leach to Tanzimat. Tanzimat snap around the corner. Big fly by Whittle. Playing some pretty good minutes there. Barton Smith intercepted by Smith. I think, boys, and M as well, I think this is he's up there for...
Yeah, I got him in my votes, I reckon, at the moment.
And it's Gardol, takes a good mark. Goes in out to the outer side wing. Mark taken, that was by Britton. He's going to slow things down. They're up by 24 points, the Demons. Can they hold on here? Hams takes a good mark.
Montrose is setting up quite defensively. There was a 5v2 before in Mitcham's forward 50, and those players haven't moved up, so it's very slow moving for them.
Bowden should have taken that mark. Centre of the ground, goes deep inside the forward 50, but a mark taken. That was by Frith, and he'll have to save for this next couple.
It's a poor kick. It's a 1-on-2, and Emmy mentioned that a couple times happened in that third quarter, and just not the best forward 50 entries as Barnes spoils that one across the line.
Yeah, Mitcham are going to have to start running it in and kicking a little bit deeper. So they're taking a lot of shots into the forward 50 from just in front of the centre circle, which is so easy to defend because it's literally a 5-on-2, 5v3 every single time.
So something they'll have to look at. This game's still alive, just the 4 goals in it. If they get the next one, it's game on. Baglava with the tap down. Watson involved. Cherry got the handball off. Trying to take on his opposition was Goulding, and that's holding the ball.
The umpires have been red hot on this afternoon, haven't
they? They have.
It's back, holding the ball.
Now, almost very close to giving away a 25.
We've watched a lot of footy, and holding the ball, it's just not a thing until now, I'll say.
Carter, a long kick down the line. The big O, smart little tap, put it in front of his teammate, who, bit of a drubbing kick forward. Baldwin run down behind by White. That's holding the ball. Bailey White, the skipper, has been very, very solid this afternoon.
Might back himself here. He is.
He's kicked a couple, and as we said, this is certainly the end where you can probably kick goals from outside 50. Someone's birthday.
There's probably
Mike has
no, now like it'll be Blake's birthday.
There's Bailey White. Spoiling the moment here is White's going to kick from outside 50, a long way, a long kick.
That's goal of the day.
White puts the D's 5 goals in front, and that is absolute class.
This is great scenes.
And you can probably put that down to McInerney. Just his awareness.
Smart little tap.
He's tapping.
30-point leaders at the moment. I think that might...
Tell you what, we have got some close games here. Vermont are only trailing by 9. South Croydon are only in front by 7. And Berwick are in front by 9.
Close games in Premier, which is like to see in the top grade, but we're in Division 1 today, and it's a good one out here as Milton gets a clearance kick deep inside the forward 50. White involved, skipping this one up. Will try do is Baldwin. Gets a soccer kick, doesn't want to pick it up. And this one might just roll out. Geez, the Montrose faithful out in force today.
Montrose are doing very well to just get numbers to the contest. So again, it was a 4v2, and Baldwin just had no opportunity, no chance. There's no point in him picking it up. He would have got absolutely slammed.
So McInerney just gets pushed away.
Oh, that's a throw. That's a crow. That's a crow throw.
That's the throw of the year.
Oh, and Doncaster East is still 16 points up over Roval.
Oh, they did call it. There you go, Brash. They listened to you. As Crampton probably in the Tigers' best. Oh, no. Not the biggest bloke in the team you don't want to kick to. So you say, let them know. Definitely those beers are kicking down. Drink responsibly as always, but it's the big O's in the ruck going at it against Baglaver. Gets the hit out.
I reckon Baglaver's had it stiff today. He's
first game back.
First game back.
He's done well, though, Ben. You're right, Em. He's done very well.
The good thing is Mitcham will have a bye next week, as most teams do, for the King's birthday, so might be better rested for him. Tackled by Carter.
Well, they do have some troops coming back.
Yeah, the break may not do Baglaver any good because he's only just come back in and he's got to wait another 2 weeks.
But it's still, could have some runs in him during the break, so...
What was his injury? What was he coming back from? Sometimes it's nice to just have 3 and then you have a break.
I don't know what the injury was, unfortunately. Oh, Tensmat tried to go for the one-handed catch. Milton.
Oh, show of speed.
And Tensmat gets it on the boot, and that's going to go to the right, through from behind. 11-13, 79, Mitcham 7-6, 48. 10.5 minutes into this final quarter, Ryan.
So Maguire to take the kick in here for the Tigers. He'll send it towards the far side of the ground. In amongst this one, taking a good grab there, Will Keller. Looks to play on straight away, Crampton. Just got to take every chance at this moment. Marrow, the half-forward flank, handballs back. Now deep inside their forward half. It's a poor kick. It's out of bounds on the full.
That's one thing they haven't been able to do well all afternoon, Ryan.
Yeah.
Delivery into their forward 50 has just not been there.
It's that last kick. Everything around the ground has been awesome.
Yeah, it was a good lead up until that final kick inside 50. So the D's look to move this out now. Collins takes the mark at the back pocket here for the D's.
Got to say, really good crowd out here for supporting local footy this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
They travel well, Montrose.
Well, it's their home game, so...
And so do Mitcham. Well, I'm talking like away and home. They come in force. So.
I'm so glad you said that and not me, because that would have been mean from me.
Well, just finals time if they do make it.
Well, they've got to get out of the furnace first, Blakey.
They are. I'll put them out after they beat Baronia.
Yeah, it's been mentioned here by a few people.
Yes, I didn't get a fine welcoming a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. Boundary throw in. McInerney, handball up in the air. Heap. Plenty of Tigers around this one. Duval in long kick inside 50 again. There's just no numbers there. Keller did well enough just to make a contest up against Gardol and get it out of bounds, but wasn't the best option. We're 12 minutes into this fourth term. 11-13 plays 7-6.
Do you reckon half the listeners on the Tuesday podcast are members of Montrose Football Club?
No. I'm surprised we get any. It's a great show that we do. We get a lot of listeners, which is great. You've got to be careful what you say sometimes. As tackles delayed.
You mean careful what you say?
I don't know. Yeah.
Blake, I think you do a good job on the Tuesday podcast.
The show, no, it's good. It's not just me, it's Ryan and Josh as well. I don't make the show, I just do it because I love footy. So.
I'm pretty sure in years gone by you've called it your show.
I have not called it my show.
I'm pretty sure I heard Blake say that it was his show.
Sorry guys, back to the game. As Mitcham go inside, forward 50. Cherry involved. Eels gets this one on the clearance ball. Boot, centre of the ground at Montrose. Watson has got Barton Smith to accompany. Tackled immediately for a ball up.
Berwick moved back out to a 16-point lead. Doncaster East up by 19. East Ringwood by 9. And South Croydon are now up by only 7 points.
Jeez. If South Croydon lose this one,
Oh, yeah, after the start they had.
They'll be on my show for a long time. Eels gets a socking ball, goes to Watson on the outer wing. This one's just going to roll. Hams gets a little bit of a tap. Baldwin will get this one, gets it on the boot. And
I tell you what, that spare that Montrose have had since the second quarter has changed the game for them, and he's pretty much set up the rest of these last 3 quarters. And Mitcham have done nothing about it. So again, there's personnel, but if you can't change structurally and you can't adapt to the game, you're going to be in for a bit of trouble.
It just comes down to coaching, I think. And Brett Johnson, since coming to the club, obviously spent 8 years with Geelong Footy Club under Chris Scott. I'm sure you will learn a thing or two from Scotty, because words from him is very on point. So tackle was laid. That was by Goulding.
Well, his brother can't coach.
And we go down to boundary side. We don't talk about that, Brad.
Does it feel like it's starting to click now for Montrose, Blake?
I wouldn't say that. I think this is an all-round performance, but Mitcham have a few out, so we've got to have some, got to feel for him. But it's a great performance, and I'm, looking forward to this win. But they've still got a little bit more work to do. I think.
Blake Tennant doing some really good lid management.
I was going to say the same thing. If anyone of our listeners ever listened to any of our other Match of the Days and Blake Tennant is on there, he talks up how good Montrose is.
That was a bit of a coach response, wasn't it? Just really put things in perspective.
Maybe you just need to get him on Montrose games to train him up more.
I think it's just they're going to have back on track, because they've got some winnable games coming up as Hams gets it out of the clearance ball. Britton involved, gets the handball to Heap. Heap gets tackled. And a tackle is laid, and that might be high on the ball. It is. So they've got Beaconsfield after the King's birthday break. Then they've got Bayswater, and then after that they've got Mooroolbark. So
no reason why they can't win all 3.
I know. This is an 8-point game, and it's going to come at a good cost for them.
And when you look at someone like Baronia, who, if they do lose today, will maybe get a score on that game. That would put Montrose back in the 5 and then put the pressure on the Hawks, who play the Saints at Quamby next week, as the Tigers go towards their attacking half. And again, just a poor kick, and I think that would have been out of bounds on the floor, bounced just before.
Where's Montana sitting in all of this as well?
Top 3, and they're going to win today, so they'll move into the top 2.
Yeah, Park Orchards are up by 18 at the moment, 82-64.
So speaking of those 3 games, I've also got Park Orchards, so that'll be another huge test. I think, Josh, to answer that question, Park Orchards at Montrose, that would see how I see Montrose going forward as Mitcham go back into the attack. Colour involved, had a good solid first half. And this one might be a ball up. It is.
I'm impressed with Mooroolbark really taking it to North Ringwood, though. They're only down by 10 at the moment.
There'll be a good one there.
Wani South are up by a straight 20 goals here over Bayswater. And Berwick are not that far behind either over Norwood.
So Tennant gets the hand pass, goes to Eels. Olden involved. Big O trying to get it on the boot straight away. Collins and finds his teammate there, and that was by Flynn Maguire.
Back inside 50 here for the Tigers. Maguire, the kick.
It really was that second quarter, Ryan, where Montrose just broke the game open. And, really they've been able to control the contest basically since half-time.
Go boundary side quickly.
And that's what Brett Johnson highlighted, that when they turned the pressure on from the second quarter, that's really where the game turned.
Probably the only major difference, other than that, it's been a pretty even contest at times throughout the afternoon, but that second quarter was a big one for the D's.
Just quickly as well, it's sort of like that game that Mitcham, I think it was 2 years ago, where Mitcham had a few out. Montrose, had a pretty good team, and Mitcham really dominated.
Here's the Tigers. It was Cherry's handball cut off by Tennant. Now off to Collins. Collins clearing kick. Marked by Barnes or out of bounds. One or the other. It's going to be a Mitcham ball. As he puts this back inside the attacking half again. Everyone flies down at ground level. That time was Eels. Mara comes in. Again, it's just probably been that hitting a target inside 50. And there's the Blake chance going once again. No wonder you wanted us to come down here to Montrose. The ball up inside 50. Tapped down one by the Tigers. Goulding's kick was smothered. The chant gets louder and louder. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I don't think I've ever been part of a broadcast like it.
I don't know. Is the atmosphere, Mike, picking this up, Lee?
I have been turning it down, but I think it's still just coming through.
McInerney out the ruck. Marrow out the back, went without it. Wrapped up by Eels.
Just looking at the Div 1 ladder, so you got Mitcham, North and Montana pretty much going to cement in that top 3 if they keep going the way they're going. But 4th and 5th is Montrose is contending for that, and Mooroolbark. That'll actually be really tight.
Yeah, it's certainly evened up quite a bit as ball comes back out now for the D's. Hams along the boundary line. Pete. And you know the stings out of the game when the most interesting thing is the chants from the Montrose Reserves boys.
I don't know if you even noticed right as they did it. They even had a countdown.
They had a countdown to it.
They started counting. I'm thinking it's nowhere near 3 seconds to go in the quarter.
I heard the 3, 2, 1 and I knew what was coming. And I knew I've got.
But just back on North Ringwood.
I'll stick to this, Gab. We'll talk about North Ringwood.
Oh, we will. Okay. But Begg's a huge out. That's all I'm just saying. He's get him in and they're...
Oh, they got backup rucks. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly. Berwick by 16, East Ringwood by 14, Doncaster East by 22, and breathing space for Croydon, South Croydon. They're up by 14.
There you go. Scores around the grounds. Thanks to Wayne Brushup. Big fly by Tennant. Couldn't mark that one.
It's just been up and back, up and back, up and back. Not really much happening in the game. No scoring opportunities. It's just messy football at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, there's some big results happening in Div 2. Mulgrave look like they're going to go down. They're down by 38. East Burwood are up by 49. Ringwood are now 27 up over Scoresby.
There you go.
This could be the first forward 50 entry in the last 5 minutes from either team.
Surrey Park up by 51 and Templestowe up by an even 70.
Do you reckon if they score a goal here, Mitcham, that they're up and about? Imagine coming back. You've probably got 5 minutes left. Could be like last night's game of footy, Carlton Geelong.
We don't talk about that one. That gets brushed through. I was actually there last night.
Come on, let's talk about it all we like. What a great game that was.
Lee, mute Josh's mic.
I felt like Carlton won the grand final. That's all I'm just saying. And we're only round 12 and Carlton's only won 4 games.
A big upset brewing at Donvale. Fernt Upper Gully are up by 16, 44 to 28.
Another defence here for the D's. The big O.
Yeah.
Which the reserves nuffies enjoy that from the balcony.
As Blake likes to say, the heartbeat of your football club.
Yep, the heartbeat of your footy club, the reserves. If you don't have reserves, I'm sorry, they do it tremendously.
Oh, Glossip. Big grab on top of White, who had the other big mark.
Every club has to have reserves, Blake.
Yep.
They can't field a seniors team without one.
Glossip towards Baglava in front of us, scored across the line by Tanzanat.
They do have Resi's Day.
I will say, I do feel sorry for our very own Matt Spider-Lee and Brett Davidson, who's sitting amongst this at the moment.
They're probably starting it. I bet they are.
There is no way they're getting involved.
Baglava, great tap from him.
Oh, no.
Are we back?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, this hands gets a clearance kick on the pocket of Montrose, and that's going to race out.
Is there a game on? I didn't know.
Blake, you say FNL Insight isn't your show, but I think a Montrose home game is absolutely the Blake Tennant show.
Yeah, give me plenty of content this week for Insight, Blake.
I think Lee's got all the video. He'll have it good there for LKLM Media. So back to the footy now.
I'm convinced you planned this.
I did not plan this.
You've been
he
begging me
absolutely
for months to
did.
come out here.
I told you guys.
He's prepared songs for them. Chance.
Word for word.
We, as a media team, we should be coming here, I'd say, every week. But unfortunately, we've got to cover the 40 other clubs, and we do that very well. So.
And the game going on here, by the way.
Yeah,
I've never heard you be so disciplined with your commentating before ever.
Very diplomatic today.
Wow,
you're
improved.
We've just lost complete control of the fact that we're calling Montrose versus Mitcham this afternoon.
Yes, yeah.
To be honest, this is what's happened. The ball has gone from the top of 150 to the top of another 50. It's been very, very scrappy. There's repeat ball-ups, and there is literally not much going on.
Yeah.
Well, here might be something.
Big O's got the ball.
Torpedo, bring it back. Come on.
We'll go to the boundary shortly. McInerney. Bennett.
Oh, he's doing it.
Here we go.
Oh.
No.
The top of the square. Could be a chance for a mark. A couple players fly. Giving away a free kick here, I think the D's have done. So this will come back. It'll go down to the boundary now, Josh Ward.
I was going to say Alex Martin-Smith was looking a little bit ginger after a contest, but he's all fine now. So
ABS.
Yes.
Good, Martin-Smith.
Yeah, loves the EFNL media and what we do.
Baglava long out of defence, finds Keller. 24 minutes gone in this last quarter. We haven't had a goal in quite some time as Keller moves this along. And they link up now through Barton Smith. Barton Smith looking for a target inside 50. That's not his best work. Sorry, Alex. But
the play that was good, the execution not so good.
So we'll get a kick from Jordan Eels here.
That was by Gracie.
That was Gracie.
Gracie. Fine comment there. He acknowledges too.
Eels.
One or two.
Yes, is out of defence. No love lost between these two sides as the D's look to move forward. The mark almost taken, juggling there that time. Whittle.
Great follow-up.
And now for Carter. Carter gets their hands off. Tanzamat, things have opened up a little bit for him. Socket off the ground right there.
Because they went scoreless in the second quarter,
Yep.
Mitcham.
Other than that, it probably hasn't been too... There's a free kick here going the way of the D's.
And the hoodoo continues for Mitcham. They just can't win here.
No, they haven't got a good record here.
This is the 5th loss in a row here since 2019. They just can't win.
Which kind of is surprising because, again, their ground is very similar to this ground. So I don't see why they'd be struggling at a place like this.
There are just some grounds, that that sides just can't perform about. It's back to 6 points down at Edwin Flack. Blackburn are making a last-ditch effort.
So Tanzamat will be kicking this one from just outside the arc, about 45 metres out. For the second of the quarter for the D's, he puts it through and they extend that margin out. 12-13, should I say, 85 to 7-7-49. 36-point lead, 26 and a half minutes gone final quarter, Brash.
Back to 7 points out at Cheong.
Oh, you really want South Croydon to win this game.
I think we want him to get a win on the board because they've had a
really tough season.
Fairmont have tried all afternoon. They're still down by 13 against East Ringwood, 8-12 to 6-11.
Fair effort.
Yep. So as play resumes, 27 minutes into this final quarter. So I'll tell you what, it'll be hard to get a spot or a drink after this game.
Straight kicking by Doncaster East. Let's see them lead 13-5-83 to an inaccurate Roval 6-18-54.
Oh, they were pinching themselves
Carter gets it off to the big O.
And Oscar.
So this one, yep. So after you guys, after full time as well.
It's a goal of difference. It's now a goal of difference up at Cheong.
There you go.
So if South Croydon kick another goal here, we could be looking at another draw.
Who's in front? South Belgrave in front?
No, South Croydon are still in front.
Okay.
They
6
need
points.
6 points.
Geez, that's going to be a close one to keep an eye on. Stay tuned for the post-game show. We've got interviews. And the big O to put the step at the authority.
That goal of the day?
And I think that's the goal of the day. The big O, what a recruit he is to Montrose.
No, I still think the Bailey White goal was the goal of the day.
Or even Whittle, but the big O coming across from Brisbane. premiership player last year, of course.
Bronya coming home with a wet sail. They're down by only 7 points, 10-15 to
All right, we'll get
13-4, 82. Sorry.
So 13-13 plays 7-7 here. The D's going to win their fifth game of the season. Fourth game. I think they're on 4 wins. So that might just put them back into the top 5, depending on that Bronya result. Oh, I hope there's not another chant coming. There's back in the middle again. Tennant with his handball.
You love the chance.
The Tigers with the clearance forward.
Blake, you love the chance.
Well, you set them up, so.
I've never received this.
As the D's off the half back line. They're all in unison too, so I think this has been pre-rehearsed. Maguire, his handball to Rebecca, to Baldwin.
They are twos players.
Right.
Probably spent a lot of time at the cricket too.
As the mark is intercepted by Tennant, who looks to use the corridor with Hams. O'Reilly, Hams. Hits up a target on the far wing. They've enjoyed themselves on the balcony today as Jenkins moves it to Heap.
I hope I've put a good pitch in for you to come in.
Giving us a bit of entertainment.
Yep.
They've definitely been to the Melbourne Flash Mob Academy training course.
Heap inside 50 for the D's. The Big O's amongst this one. Nicholas and Glossop at the back. Crampton wrapped up by
I think
2 D's.
I hope this is just a start of something that we can get down a bit more, but I know why. But
we've got to share the love around.
Yes, that's what I'm
Blake.
scared too. Yep.
The Big O tapped down. Out of the middle there was Carter. And another goal for the D's. That's their 14th as they start to really stretch out this lead late.
Blake, Montrose have to prove that they're worthy of being filmed every single week. Like they've come from being two teams below them for the start of the season. All of a sudden, getting a bit of momentum now. But we've got to make sure they're worth it.
As the Big O gets a great... See, they give the chance to other players. There you go.
It's about time they give it to someone who deserves it.
The same calibre as you, obviously, Blake.
The Big O and Blake Tennant probably on equal level. You played a bit of ruck at the Forest Hill Reserves last year. I think both are pretty good resumes.
Got best on.
Yep. Got one best on in the reserves and an AFL Premiership medallion between the two of you.
I've won 2 junior flags. So
all right, add that to the list. Good little duo, you two. We're back in the middle. Keller got the handball off. This time to Horsey. Horsey towards the half-forward flank. Out the back is Mara if he can run onto this. Being held as Eels. Keeps this one in play. And the siren sounds. And the D's are going to walk away with a pretty handy 8-goal win in the end. 14-13-97 to Mitcham, 7-7-49.
Yeah, well, it was the second quarter was where all the damage was done. And then basically for the second half, Montrose were able to control the contest. And unfortunately for Mitcham, they just didn't have enough winners in their forward 50 to kick a winning score. It's as close as it gets, really.
And we'll keep you updated with all those scores around the grounds. Got plenty of time in this post game. I know you've got to run soon, Blake, so we'll get your thoughts before we hear from one of the interviews on the ground. A really good performance in the end.
It is. And, got to give credit to Montrose. Second quarter, that's where the game was really won, I thought. 5 goals to none and controlled the game early, but you got to feel a little bit sorry for Mitcham. They've got a few key outs, probably got 5 of their best 22 out there, not there playing today. But this is a complete performance, and it's kind of what's been trying to happen, but it hasn't quite happened. And tonight is an exceptional performance. They've had 2 good performances now, and I'm hoping, as a mutual person, that this can lead to something special because they've got the talent, but they're not showing it enough. And this is a great win by Montrose. And Mitcham, they'll be better after the King's birthday break when they try and get a few players back in. So pretty happy Montrose get the win today.
And we're going to go down to ground level in just a moment. I can see the boys lurking around. Probably a couple of the stars down there. The Big O was certainly fantastic today Thought Taj Heap was excellent. We've got our awards after to discuss. We've got the Cryo Stay Young Eastland Best On Ground Award. We've got our Tobin Brothers Goal of the Day. Let's go down to the boundary.
Yeah, I'm alongside Bo Tennant from the Montrose Football Netball Club. Of course, I had to go to your brother, Blake, because he was exceptional today. Well, he must be very happy to get over the line.
Yeah, it was a bit of a performance from us. I feel like we play well here most games, and we knew coming in that, they were a bit short-sighted, but they're still on top of the ladder for a reason, so it was good.
Was that the most complete performance of the season so far, or there's still more to come?
Yeah, no, I thought 4 quarters we played good footy. We didn't lapse off. Previously we've had a few quarters, even against Boronia we sort of lapsed off a bit, but that was probably our most complete game.
And playing alongside guys like Oscar McInerney and others, Fraser Smith down in defence, Andrew Carter, some pretty handy players coming into the lineup this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes in defence it's not bad, just when Big O gets on top and I don't have to really see much of it, so it's pretty handy, but yeah.
Oh, thanks, Bo. Jared, over to you with Big Oscar.
Oscar, mate, how's it been down at Montrose? How have you found the culture?
Yeah, the boys have been unbelievable. Place hasn't changed. It's been great. We've got past players today, so see all the old boys that we played with, and I've loved every minute of it.
And getting some wins on the board now, season's looking up.
Yeah, the competition's so easy. Even I've been so impressed with the quality. North Ringwood were incredible. Mitcham are so well disciplined. It's an even comp, so you just got to try and cash your wins.
Awesome. Thanks, Oscar. Enjoy the win.
There you go. The Big O down at ground level with Jared Beanland, as well as Bo Tennant, who I thought was super impressive. Just flies under the radar a lot, does Bo. I thought he was outstanding alongside some of their defenders, and obviously another one in Fraser Smith I thought was fantastic. But we've got our votes to come. We might take a break in just a moment. We'll see if we can get the song down in the rooms for the Montrose side as they start to make their way off the field, as does Mitcham for themselves. The final result here, 14-13-97 to 7-7-49. Just before, in fact, they might be coming off the ground now, so we'll probably hold on some of those scores. But we've got plenty of scores around the grounds to touch on today. Bit of quiet up here on the balcony now. The reserves boys have buggered off downstairs, which is good, as we'll see if we can get the boys downstairs to hear the song. We might get the song thanks to Tobin Brothers Juniors celebrating lives. Fingers crossed as Jared follows them into the rooms.
It's the Melbourne team song.
We did hear it. Very good atmosphere with the music before the game and the song after the game. Very similar to Mitcham. Both sides do that very well, part of it.
Two very good, well-run clubs. That's all I have to say.
A couple of big clubs.
Yeah.
Here's the song. There you go, there's the song. Thanks to Tobin Brothers Funeral celebrating lives. We're going to go to an ad break here, and then we're going to be back. We're going to talk about all the scores around the grounds and the Best On Ground awards. It is Montrose 14-13-97 defeating Mitcham 7-7-49.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The one thing that puts a smile on my face is my kids.
The sun shining through the clouds, even in winter, absolutely puts the biggest smile on my face.
Seeing delicious food on the table ready for me when I get home.
One thing that always puts a smile on my face is seeing my family.
The thing that puts a smile on my face every time is really good music.
Just the simple pleasures in life.
Be remembered for the greatest moments in your life. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to the Eastland Match of the Round. We're going to do the votes straight after this, as well as the Tobin Brothers Goal of the Day. But if you just joined us and you want to hear the post-game show, it was Montrose big winners over Mitcham, 14-13-97, defeated Mitcham 7-7-49. This is the post-game review show of this Montrose Mitcham. My name is Blake Tennant, joined by Ryan Long, Wayne Brasher, Em Mackay, Josh Ward, Jared Beanland. We've got Dave O on board, as well as Matt Spider-Lee. So we've got the full crew. I've never seen this on the media team.
Pack numbers.
It's
here.
great to see. Good numbers all around. But we
know you've got to run very soon.
I do.
So we're going to jump straight into the awards. Tobin Brothers Goal of the Day, Blake. What do you reckon?
It was a hard one to say. I'm going to go Whittle, but I think Brash went to Bailey White's goal. But I'm happy for if anyone can overrule me, but I think Whittle just on the goal square.
Who would be likely more to use the Tobin Brothers Goal of the Day voucher?
Bailey White. He loves a snag.
But the voucher himself.
Yeah, I reckon he would. He lives. He lives.
He kicked it. Yeah. I think White's goal was the goal that basically put the game to bed, I reckon.
All right, Tobin Brothers Goal of the Day. Bailey White, congratulations to him. Our Cryo Stay Young Eastland Best on Ground Awards. Let's kick us off. Let's start. I believe our boundary riders have got their votes as well. Jared, what do you got?
Can someone write this down?
I've got it. I've got it covered.
Or do you not want to take responsibility for this one, Blake?
I've got to run.
So. Okay.
It's the day of the tenants today.
All right, Jared, what do you got first?
All right, I've got 1 vote to Big Bo Tennant. I've got the 2 votes to Oscar McInerney and 3 for Bailey White.
3 to Bailey White. Gotcha. All right.
Just a quick one.
We'll get to that after.
Okay.
Right,
who's doing the scores? Sorry,
I've got it here.
Oh, we can trust you. That's fine.
South Corinne led by a point over South Belgrave.
Okay.
Off you go, Brash.
I'm going to give 1 vote to Fraser Smith. I thought him in the back line didn't put a foot wrong all day. Very cool, calm, and collected under pressure. 2 votes I am going to give to Taj Heap. Thought his run through the midfield, his creativity, kicked some crucial goals in that second quarter to set Montrose up. And I think the skipper, White, I think he led by example for the rest of the afternoon. Kicked 5, I think. Is that 5 goals he kicked, Bailey White?
3. Yep.
I just thought that he led from the front and kicked the goal that basically put the game to bed.
Emily Mackay?
I've got 1 to Keller, defensive run all day. 2 to Tennant. I think that his second quarter set up the rest of the game.
Yep.
He's playing as a loose back, so I'm going to reward that. And Big O gets my 3.
Yep. Josh Ward?
I've got Tennant for 1 vote as well. I'll give 2 to the Big O, but I'm with Brash. I think Bailey White gets the 3 votes as well. I thought he was really good.
We're going to have some extra votes here. We have Matt Spider-Lee and Brett Davidson.
I'm going to go 1 vote for Fraser Smith, 2 votes to Bailey White, and I thought the best man on the ground by that far, it wasn't funny, was Mr. McInerney. He dominated everything, so they're my votes.
Matt Spider-Lee.
Going to give one vote to Andrew Carter. Thought he was really good today. 2 votes. Bailey White. When you kick 5 goals, you should be getting in the votes. But 3 votes. Look, the best player on the ground. I think you can't go past. The big O, Oscar McInerney. I think he was the difference in the match, but there was a couple of other players that could have easily got votes as well. And probably an apology to Fraser Smith, because I thought he was sensational as well.
Blake?
And my votes, yes, sorry. I'm going to go 1 vote to my brother, Bo. I thought he was superb. He did ask for the interview too, by the way, Josh. But welcome. I did say to him in the morning, you've got to play well. So there you go.
He did play well.
2 votes to the big O, Oscar McInerney. Thought he was superb in the ruck all day. But I thought this man was truly the best player, in my opinion, and that man was Taj Heap, getting 3 votes with 3 goals, playing in the midfield too.
I'm not copying it. I had the exact same 3. I thought Bo was fantastic. As for all the mentions reason, flies under the radar. Just such an important part to this lineup. I've gone 2 to the big O, and I could have easily given him the 3. I gave Taj Heap 3 as well. I thought particularly in that second quarter when they got going, I think he's kicked 2 or 3 in that quarter. I thought he was outstanding. But I'll just quickly do the math so you guys keep talking while I work this out.
Yeah, but I think did South Croydon get home there, Brush? You got the score.
Yeah, they got home by the Bees diaphragm there, Blakey.
Yeah, that's South Croydon's first win. So
9-6 to 8-11.
There you go. Well done there.
And now, best on ground, the Crow Stay Young Eastland. It's Mr. Oscar McInerney.
You'll love that.
He edges out Bailey White and Taj Heap.
I think he's out there having a kick. Is he? I saw him before. No,
he was out there. Well, I don't want him to run off. So you go and.
I just want to say it's been a privilege coming down here and calling this great game, and it was a good game.
Well done, Blakey. Great call today, Blakey.
Thanks, guys.
Well done, Blake. Good stuff. Go and give those awards out. Bailey White, our Tobin Brothers goal of the day winner, and Oscar McInerney.
Guess what, Blakey? You get it to do it all again tomorrow morning, mate.
Yes, we'll be on the Sunday podcast, so stay fresh. Don't have had too big of a night, mate. We'll see you tomorrow. That's our awards done.
Yep.
We've got also Brett Davidson jumping back on the call. While we're here, we might get your thoughts on the game, because I know the last quarter there's probably the pep out of the game just fizzled, and the D's did enough early. But it really did seem like the second quarter is the difference between the two sides in the end.
I thought their forward half pressure was as good as I've seen for a long time. I don't know how many forward 50 tackles they would have had in that second quarter, Montrose, but that's where they turned the game. They strangled Mitcham. Mitcham weren't able to get any run from defence. I thought Mitcham, in the last quarter they had an opportunity when I think it was 3, maybe 4 goals the difference, and they were going forward, but they just didn't have any options up forward, and that's where I thought Fraser Smith and Bo were really good up in defence for Montrose. And I agree with Spider. I thought Carter was very good in the middle. I'm trying to find really good players for Mitcham, and I found it really difficult to find a winning player.
Not too many standouts.
I thought Will Keller tried really hard for them. I thought Persis tried hard for them, but they didn't have much else.
Their biggest problem, Dave, every time they got the ball out of their back half and through their midfield, they had no one to direct the ball through the corridor. They had no centre forward to direct any play through.
The system just fundamentally just broke down. I mean, they couldn't get ball movement on speed throughout the course of the day. It was slow at times. And it was very clumpy and lumpy. They kicked a lot, and it just made it very easy to defend for Montrose, and guys like Tennant and Smith just peeled that off, and they were able to link up and rebound that ball.
I think the one thing Montrose might look at is probably their composure heading inside forward 50, but outside of that, they were really good today. That was probably their most complete performance.
What does a coach like Neil Winterton take out of this, Brett, do you think? It's hard to take positives, especially when you've got so many players out and you were outplayed for 3 quarters. But surely there's going to be something here that they've learned.
Well, I think they showed that when they got the ball on the move, when they got a little bit of from run behind, a little bit of handball receive work, they started to move the ball up the top end quite well. They just couldn't get any clear run in their forward line. They were matched up really well. I didn't think their mids pushed forward well enough to be able to create anything for them. But yeah, look, he's got to look at the fact that he's got a lot of good footballers out of that side. But you still got some good players out there that didn't. I thought Nathan Barnes after half-time did a little bit. But yeah, they just didn't get anything through the middle, I didn't think today. Apart from the first quarter where I thought they read McInerney beautifully in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I thought they really rucked to him well. And then he changed the way he rucked. So instead of it being that he was going clear over the top for runners, and he brought it down a little bit closer, and I thought that's where some of the Montrose mid started.
Well, that's why Carter
involved.
got so dominant, and he went to work because he just was bursting out of stoppage at the front.
And they also got a lot of second contests in that area.
With the way that Mitcham set up, which is having those two almost sweeper-like positions at the back, if McInerney is tapping the ball down, they're not able to capitalise on those plays that they've got set out the back, and so they're playing defensively almost because of that. But there were instances where we look at the positives from Mitcham, and then they were under the pump with the ball being put into the D50. And to be able to transition that ball out, like that back half looked really, really good. And so if we're thinking about positives that Mitcham can take out of the game, that movement in a game where there's lots of pressure, that was awesome. Then it's that next stage of, well, we're just kicking too early and we're getting to top of 50 where it's very easy to intercept and defend. We need to hit what we call the cage, which is about 5 to 10 metres in front of where the square is. And that is the most dangerous place in a forward 50 where you can put the ball into. So if Mitcham can get that right, even with their inconsistency of injuries and whatnot, they'll still be okay. That's the system that they've just got to play to.
I think when you look at just when we obviously saw him earlier in the season, if you look through that side, Jesse Aren not there. Rod Arley was a late inclusion for VFL. Mitch Johnson's obviously done, long term. Guy Lachlan not on the side. Tom Lovell, another late out today. There's a lot of players on that lineup. That Josh May has barely sided with a hamstring. He might be back in a couple of weeks. They're just so important to that lineup that without them, I just don't think coming into this game they really, really had a... But
if we go to a system perspective, they're the ones that naturally play into that system.
Yeah.
So it's like you teach the system to the other players so that these players, when they slot in, everyone's playing the same thing. That's what is missing. It's not that these players are guns. I mean, they are, but it's they just know how to play that next level and those little niche things that actually make your team really good.
Correct. I think also the fact that they didn't have Lovell in there meant that they had no tall option down forward, which meant if they have the tall option, then Olden has more of an opportunity because he's not a big forward,
not at all.
But he's a really clever forward when the ball, especially when it hits the ground. He's good when the ball's out in front. You put Lovell in there then, and as Em says, put him in the cage, and even if he doesn't take the mark, he brings it down, and you've got Olden and these guys. Marrow then suddenly become more accessible to the ball, and they just didn't have anyone that they could put the ball to, and it was just I thought that's where they were very good, Montrose.
Yeah, I think also Montrose, their ground balls today, the amount of ground ball that they won, that was so impressive too. I mean, for a side that with that capacity and capability, that midfield, that was a clear dominant factor, and their clearance work, but their ability to use handball as well was a real feature, I thought.
All right, we've got some time to go through the scores around the grounds. I think Wayne Brasher's got some updates out at Premier Division. It was a tight one on Cheon Park, and I believe we have a final score.
Yeah, we do. Let's start at the top. Berwick held on for a 7-point victory over a fast-finishing Blackburn.
That's a huge
That's
win.
massive.
Yeah, Berwick 10-9-69 defeating Blackburn 9-8-62.
Oh, we're so happy.
Vermont put up a gallant fight this afternoon against East Ringwood. East Ringwood run out by 14 points, 8-13-61 to Vermont, 6-11-47. Probably the upset of the round and very poor kicking by Roeville this afternoon. They went down by 30 points to Doncaster East. Doncaster East 13-6-84 defeated Roeville 6-18-54.
The real Doncaster East showed up today.
Yeah, they did for a change.
And considering the amount of players that they had out too, I think that's a real good result for them. They'd be very pleased that they've got over the line considering the amount of players that they did turn over, going in and out of the side this weekend.
And after a say, after leading for the majority of the day, South Croydon fell in by a point. South Croydon 9-6-60 defeated South Belgrave 8-11-59. Even though South Croydon got the win today, not really convincing moving forward, is it?
No.
It's not, but you take the win and you move on.
A win is a win, and you're not sitting 10th.
But it's heartbreaking for South Belgrave, isn't it? I mean, look, 8-11, you fall short by a point. You now start to wonder where that win's coming from.
There's a lot for them to manage too. They've got players coming in and out with their VFL players. It's a different standard, that they're used to. They could get away with this a little bit more in Division 1. And coming up to Premier, where they're playing against these really big sides with a lot of really strong players, there's a lot that has to... Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. That jump from Div 1 to Premier is huge.
Let's move into Div 1. Play HQ might have had a bit of a dummy spit on this game, but Beaconsfield looked like they won by 112 points, 166-54 over Norwood. Obviously, the game here saw Montrose win by 48 points, 14-13-97 to Mitcham, 7-7-49. North Ringwood, business-like performance from them today up at Heights Reserve. They won by 27 points, 13-3-81 to Murrelbark 8-6-54.
How's their accuracy these past couple of weeks?
Yeah, they've done that a couple of times, haven't they? They've been very efficient in front of goal.
The game's still showing live at
I think that's
at Domini,
full-time,
but
Brash.
I think that's on there, so I agree with you, Josh. And that sees Park Orchards probably win by 13 points. Another accurate kicking there, 14-4-88 to Baronia, 10-15-75.
That's not convincing enough for me for where Park Orchards probably want to be.
Yeah, competitive effort by Baronia. That'd be that's something to work with in the weeks going forward, I think.
Speaking of accuracy, what about inaccuracy for the next game?
Yeah, well, One Turner South basically eviscerated Bayswater 25-23, 173 to 5-10-40. So massive win for One Turner South. Let's move to Division 2. Some big upsets in Div 2 this afternoon, and the first one saw Croydon big winners by 44 points over Mulgrave, 16-17, 113 to Mulgrave, 10-9, 69. Another big upset, East Burwood by 53 points. East Burwood 14-18, 102 defeated Heathmont 7-7-49.
Yeah, I don't see that as an upset. No,
maybe the margin.
It was a 50-50 game, but Heathmont, a few guys out, but East Burwood, a four-quarter performance from what it looks like there has finally happened for them.
Scoresby got overrun after leading at three-quarter time. Ringwood end up running the game out and winning by 28 points. Ringwood 10-13-73. Scoresby 6-9-45. And really that suggests to me that Scoresby are going to find it really hard to win too many games of football.
They're in trouble.
And if you look at it, that's been a little bit of a trend with Scoresby. They've been close at three-quarter time in a few games and haven't been able to run the game out.
Yeah, and kick scores too. It's just been at the four-line, hasn't been able to do it on a consistent basis.
Surrey Park continue on their merry way with a convincing 50-point win over Lilydale, who have been in great form leading into that contest. But Surrey have stamped themselves as a contender here in Division 2 this year. They win 16-11, 107 to Lilydale, 8-9-57.
That's a good win with the number of good players that came out at the end after last week. So
Lilydale did have some outs as well, so...
oh, did they?
Yeah, I think they lost James Roach, Aston Bucci, and a couple of others as well.
That's right, they did too,
Yep. And Waverley Blues form in recent times was good, but unfortunately they ran into a Mack truck this afternoon in terms of by the name of Templestowe, and they got beaten by 82 points. Templestowe 21-12, 138 defeated Waverley Blues 9-2. 56.
So that's surprised at that blowout.
Yeah, that's the top two teams of Division 2 just standing up and putting down some of these upstart teams in the Lilydale and the Waverley Blues, like brutally.
And Templestowe needed that kind of performance as well.
Well, they had the response after falling in last week and after surrendering a 40-point lead. But Waverley Blues losing by some margins at the moment. Their form has certainly fluctuated.
There's a big gap. There's a big gap in Div 2.
Yeah.
Two results went as planned in Division 3. Saw the Basin at Bannerham this afternoon, win by 62 points. Had a big second half, the Basin, 19-12, 126 to Coldstream, 10-4, 64. And Knox back on the winners list with a big win down at Springfield Park by 58 points. Knox 22-15, 147, defeating Whitehorse Pioneers 13-11, 89. And the two big upsets in Div 3 this week. Oakley Districts opened their account for the season with an 8-point win down at Wallychew Reserve against Ferntree Gully. Oakley 9-9, 63. Defeated Ferntree Gully 8-7, 55. And the bigger upset, Upper Gully have travelled to Donvale Reserve and inflicted Donvale's first loss of the season and only restricting them to 4 goals, 4-28, where Upper Gully kicked 7-10, 52. So big win by Upper Gully.
But that's the test. I mean, I said it yesterday that they were going to be tested, Donvale, and we hoped that they were going to bring that level of contest. They have done it. And, you know, Donvale, they've been kicking big scores every week, but all of a sudden, on the flip side of that, Upper Gully turn up and play a different brand of footy, and they get a result like that. So that's a significant result to what we might see in the back end of the season.
I think we wanted to see that happen. Is it the Lee Matthews, if it bleeds, you can kill it?
I reckon there'll be.
I think so, yeah.
Every third division coach will be looking at the vision this week and going, how did they do it? Let's emulate it.
But there is a template there.
Yeah, well, there has to be.
Has to be.
Okay, let's move into Division 4 and Bulleen Temp. As Bulleen Temp did, got some percentage again today over Forest Hills. Bulleen Temp 33-22, 220 defeated Forest Hills 1-7-13.
Well, the survivor got home.
This whole division is just blowouts.
That's a great survivor pick.
Doncaster make it another win for them. They win by 130 points at Coonung Reserve. Doncaster 28-14, 182. Defeated Nunawading 8-4, 52.
And according to Play HQ, Tom McGowan has kicked 12 goals in that game. So
yeah, he's in some good form.
Probably the match of the round sees Chirnside Park hold sway yet again over Kilsyth to the tune of about 35 points. Chirnside 17-10, 112 to Kilsyth, 11-11, 77. And Warrandyte continue on their winning way with a 68-point victory over Croydon North Lemlock at Hughes Park. Or no, it was at Barngion, sorry. It was Warrandyte 16-18, 114, defeating Croydon North Emlock 6-10, 46. The ladder in Division 4 sees Fair Park, who had the bye. They're on top with Warrandyte, Bulleen, Templestowe and Chirnside in the 4. Kilsyth, Doncaster, Croydon North, Forest Hill and Nunawading make up the that division for the ladder. In Division 3, Donvale will still stay on top. Moving into second position will be Upper Ferntree Gully, I believe.
I think they were already in second position, Upper Ferntree Gully.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get those ladders up very quickly, Josh and Play HQ. Yeah, Donvale 7 wins, 24. Upper Gully join them now at on 24 points. The Basin and Sylvan are sitting on 20 points. Knox 16, Ferntree Gully, Coldstream on 8, and Whitehorse and Oakley on 4 points each. In Division 2, we have
5 very separate to the bottom 4.
Yeah.
Two conversations there.
In Division 2, Templestowe go back to the top of the ladder, even though I think some of those results haven't updated. But
I think Surrey should be on top by the end of this.
They will be. 28 points to Surrey, 28 to Templestowe. You got 3 sides on 20. Lilydale, Croydon probably go up to third because they've... No, they'll be on 20. Waverley Blues are on 20. Then we've got Mulgrave on 16. East Burwood 12. Ringwood and Heathmont on 8. And Scoresby rooted to the bottom of the ladder without a win. And they're 2 games behind 10th, 8th and 9th.
Tell you what, I'm really impressed with Lilydale this year, like surviving that relegation and then sitting third at the moment.
Well, they beat Mulgrave and Templestowe 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
They did a great job, and
Yeah,
today
Mark
Surrey.
must be doing an awesome job down there.
Yeah.
They needed a bit of help, just not real help with culture, but they just need to get the vibe up, and that's what he came in midway through last year.
Yeah.
And he's obviously doing a good job with it.
And help set up
now.
a system and a structure there as well.
Div 1 looks a bit not updated, but it looks like to me that Wanturna South, North Ringwood now sit equal top on 28. Mitcham are on 24. Park Orchards will be probably on 24 as well. Baronia are on 16, as well as Beaconsfield. I think Montrose will be on 16 as well. And then follows Mooroolbark on 12. Norwood and Bayswater yet to open their account.
Next week's the big game.
Yeah,
Right. Yes, David.
I reckon that's 7 teams fighting for 5 spots.
Yeah, okay.
And Brash,
7 teams really
you've got to
fighting
fly
for
through
it.
this Premier ladder if you're going to go through it.
All right.
We've got
East Ringwood.
20 seconds.
East Ringwood, Roeville, Doncaster East, Baldwin, Berwick, Blackburn, Vermont, South Croydon, South Belgrave, Noble Park.
Beautiful.
Well done, Brash.
That's
Well
it.
done.
We'll see you tomorrow at the Friday podcast, Sunday podcast, sorry, I've got my days mixed up. Big thank you to everyone. We'll just quickly fly through. Blake Tennant on the call, Emily Mackay, Wayne Brasher in the specials, Josh Ward, Jared Beanland on the boundary line, Brett Davidson, Matt Spider Lee, Megan Green on the camera, Lee Green behind the scenes, and a big win to Montrose. They walk away 48-point winners, 14-13, 97 to Mitcham, 7-7-49 in the Eastland match of the round.